Well. Happy Monday, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. If you thought that you weren't going to hear me this morning, then you're wrong. I decided to call an audible at the last minute and join the program today. I didn't really see the purpose of taking a day off today when I will be off on Thursday, traveling back to San Diego from Kauai, and I thought, man, band of brothers, can't leave my boys in the lurch for another day. Plus, don't really have much else going on, and I'm pretty well rested. So I'm Woodsy. It's good to be here with you guys. Aloha, mahalo, all of that. Paul Reindl is the executive producer of the program. Paulie, how are you, buddy?
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. Show everybody in the live stream your wrist. You probably got dotted yesterday. Pretty friggin' good. Got the seams, the whole bit. Paulie sent me a picture.
Can't really see it on the
You can't see it on the live stream. Boy, the picture. Post the picture later. My God, it was nasty, dude. Paulie wore one yesterday. Tier 1's lost, but that's all right. I think that's Paulie's first L ever. As he was like 5-1 when I'm out of town. So great work, Paulie. Almost had that dub. And then Benjamin R. Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Hello, Benjamin.
Hello, Woodsy. I'd like to quickly say hello and good morning to AJ Preller. Shoot him straight on the basketball courts.
Yes, crush it today. I can't lie to you, and please don't take offense to this, but I can't lie. Your little meltdown Friday is part of the reason I'm here this morning. I'm not going to lie to you. That's part of the reason that I thought, oh, man, God only knows what's going to happen if I'm not there on Monday morning. So I decided last night, no, I'm going to work instead of sleeping in another day out here in paradise. But you good? You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Hey, if you want to do a guttural scream for a series victory over the Cardinals, I'm all for it.
No, I learned on Friday that we don't guttural scream anything or celebrate anything but championships.
Wins.
So
I said wins.
No, you said championships.
I said we celebrate championships, not trade deadlines.
We don't celebrate championships, actually.
So we actually have never gotten to celebrate a championship. So I think I'm just going to just say, great job, way to do your job and beat an inferior team. That is a mentality, the let's not get too excited. Let's not go blanking each other's blanks just yet. The old Winston Wolf, as we call it, because we haven't won anything yet. So I thought about it all weekend. I got, 400 DMs about it. It was It was some of the best content we've ever had, completely unplanned. But it is what it is. I thought it was after reflection on it and listening and watching the reel that Paulie put together. I went, look, love it, hate it. That's some good-ass radio right there. I mean, that is just some good, solid radio. I couldn't have planned some of our best bits, all of our bits, really. Like, we don't plan a lot of stuff. A lot of it is organic. And that's one we could not have sat in a hotel room and planned if we wanted to, because we had no idea. I mean, we would have had to have AJ in on it, the whole thing. But, man, it was really, really good and funny now that it's over. But, no, man, I wanted to be here today because, the gear's here. My kids are down at grandma's house, right? I got to have a incredible dinner with my wife last night at a place called the Dolphin. You guys would love it. We've eaten there 3 times already. They're the best sushi that I've ever had. It's unbelievable. And we had such a nice time. And I just looked at her and I go, I probably need to go in. I said, what's the point? I am so relaxed and well rested, you guys. I slept till 7:30 yesterday, Hawaii time, which is 10:30 where we live. Like, I haven't slept till 10:30 in ages. And so I feel great, man. Spent the day at the beach and, I'm feeling really, really good. But I'm slightly getting homesick. I'm slightly ready to get back. We still have Monday night, Tuesday night. We have 3 more nights here, and we'll be flying home Thursday. So I'm 10 days, maybe a little bit long next year. I think we're going to shoot for 8.
There you go.
You know what? If your vacation is so good and so long that you feel like you can shorten it, you've had a pretty good vacation.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. We had a great weekend.
You reached out to us yesterday and said, "Hey, I'll be there tomorrow," and we were kind of like, for the whole thing, like, because we told I was under the impression you would take the day off, and I didn't even want to ask. I was like, the guy's on vacation. Like, I know he brought the equipment, but I didn't want to bug him and be like, hey, what if you popped on at 8 or anything like that? I just was going to let it be and leave you to it. But I am glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here. I really am. And I watched, every single game. We've really kind of plotted and planned our days around it, as I think all of us do when we go on vacation. I think, it's hard to let a game, especially now with a new look team. I wanted to see all the new guys, right? Like I wanted to see what the lineups look like. I wanted to see, if they contributed and how they fit in. And so I was jamming, man. I was so ready to go. But I will say this. You do feel kind of out of the loop on the island, right? Like, Benny, you've been on vacation here. Don't you feel kind of out of the loop? Like,
you're cut off. You're cut off. I know, yeah, they have internet and you can follow everything, but you definitely, if it's the distance, the fact that you're on a small island surrounded by water for thousands of miles in every direction, it's pretty isolating for sure.
Yeah, it's wild. Like all the stuff was going down with, and we'll talk about it in Don't Do This, what happened at the Bristol Motor Speedway, right?
Ooh.
And I'm getting texts about it, and we don't have just like cable. It's another reason I think I'm going to stay a boomer, because I can go to my TV and just put it on. Here, I would have had to search. They have one of those super smart TVs, Paulie, with the cursor, and you got to find everything, and it's not super easy. So I feel a little bit out of the loop. And it's a little bit behind here. Everything's a little bit behind. Like, for example, I got a great one. I'm pretty sure that Morgan Wallen has just been discovered on the island of Kauai. And the reason I say that, now that would put him about a year, 2 years behind. Big in the state, the mainland, I should say. But here, everywhere you go, when you go get a Hawaiian barbecue plate, when you go get a shave ice,
oh my God,
every shop is all you hear is, because I'm drinking with some whiskey glasses, and I'm going to need some whiskey glasses. Girl, get me down my whiskey glasses, as I'm waiting in line. For everywhere I go, go and give me some of them whiskey glasses. And I'm just sitting, I'm banging my head against the picnic table, just going, this dude, they just discovered this guy here. So everywhere I go, I'm surrounded by Morgan Wallen. Thank God Jelly Roll hasn't made his way here. That's probably next year's vacation. But holy cow, man, it's been awesome. We did the thing on, I believe it was Saturday, where my brother left on Friday. So Saturday we got up, went early, and we did the boat tour of the Nepali coast, which is it's just magical. Like, if you've never seen this place, it is truly incredible. And you hear all the stories, and, the boat captain is telling you, this holds the Maka'ama. And you're like, oh, what is that? He's like, oh, those are the dead Hawaiian soldiers are buried up there. You're like, oh, God bless. Like, really cool history. Oh, this is where we fought off the English in 300 BC or something. Like, all right, I'm gonna take your word for it. Like, you just have no idea. It's just crazy, man. And but I'll tell you this, bros, the ride up on the Nepali coast and the ride back, some of the diciest seafaring that I have ever been a part of. A lot of chop. I'm holding Bo real tight. He's a little bit scared. Hannah's holding Taylor. Taylor's having a ball. And we actually had to get the bucket out for Bobo. He almost tossed his cookies into the bucket, but he made it. Then once we landed, we found a nice spot to snorkel. I was worried he wouldn't. The kid jumped right in the water, went snorkeling, saw some really, really cool stuff down there. Dolphins were swimming around our boat. I sent you guys some video. Just incredibly magical and beautiful. Any chance that you ever get to make it out here, don't leave this island without doing a tour of the Nepali coast. I mean, just incredible. Heard all the stories about the locals. I mean, it was nuts.
So that happened to me when we went to Maui on our honeymoon 23 years ago. We took a boat ride over to Lanai, which is, 45-minute hour boat ride just across the channel, and just to check it out for the day and then come back later. And as we sailed over, it was beautiful, calm seas.
Was it a sailboat?
It was one of those like ferries where you had a top deck that was open, and then there was an inside below. And as we went over, we were kind of inside, and I go, I'm feeling kind of queasy. So we went up to the top deck and enjoyed outside, and I was fine. I get a little seasick sometimes when you're kind of down underneath in the kind of in the cabin area. But as long as I'm out in the open and fresh air, I'm fine. So we get there, we spend the day, we get on the boat to come back, and they warn us and say, seas have gotten a little choppier. You might want to stay inside. And I go, I don't want to stay inside. I'm gonna get seasick. I'm gonna throw up all over the place. I'd rather just take my chances. I'll just be up on the deck. What's the worst that can happen? So they said, well, okay, that's fine. You can be up there. But once you're up there, you can't come back down because it would be dangerous to climb up and down. So I condemn us to this entire hour-long boat ride. The entire time we're rocking down and up. And every time you go down, a wave crashes over the top of the boat and just drenches us. So like 150 times during this boat ride, we are just drenched by waves that are just hitting us every single time. We're just kind of in our regular clothes at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And I go, I see why they warned us not to be outside during this boat ride. So the seas can get pretty choppy over there in Hawaii when you're out on the ocean and it gets a little windy.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. The boat captain, Captain Don, is just elite, man. Drove us into a cave. And as soon as we got into this cave, he started playing this on very loud because you're in a cave, this beautiful Hawaiian music. And I've got video. I'll bring it for you and we can play it on the air, whatever. Bro, I'm sitting in there with my family and this beautiful Hawaiian music in this cave. And I look over at my mother-in-law and she's just sobbing. And then I start to sob. Then it was just this really, really cool, beautiful moment. So many beautiful sights there along the Nepali coast, but we did make it back, no problem. It was a little bit like riding a roller coaster, getting back, but it was awesome, man. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience with the family. About 4 hours all in, and yeah, man. So I've been relaxing and watching baseball, eating pretty good. Lots of walks and taking care, playing with the boys, and they're having a blast. So it's really, it's so good for the soul out here at this place. And, it's like the most relaxed you can be because there's not a ton to do. We've already taken them mini golfing and stuff like that. There's not a ton to do. So you go down to the bay and the kids have been boogie boarding and things like that. They're getting into it. So it's been great. I'm crispy though, man. I'm crispy. My back is a little crispy. I'm getting some color on my legs.
How's the chafing?
A little bit of, the chafing is gone.
Good.
It is gone. It's the whatever surfer salve worked, back in action, so to speak. So we did have one. We have had one incident, and you guys don't even know what it is yet. And I told my wife at dinner, I have to tell it. And she said, no. And I go, no, I have to. And she said, no. This is ridiculous. You can't. And I said, well, I'm going to if they guess. She said, fine, if they guess. So
begin the guessing.
Like 20 questions.
So something. All right.
You were stung by a jellyfish.
Nope. Something happened to Hannah and I specifically.
Is it embarrassing?
Yeah.
Oh,
we're on vacation.
You were caught in flagrante delicto.
What does that mean?
When in the middle of it.
Yes.
Really? I guessed it that quick?
Really?
That quick.
Wow. By who?
Taylor.
Oh.
Yep. Taylor Woods. My 4-year-old.
Do we need to keep guessing, or is this where you take over the story?
That's not uncommon for parents of young children
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Because I know that there's a billion parents. We don't have that big of a listenership. There's a lot of parents out there that can absolutely relate. And it was 2 nights ago. And nobody heard anything as far as the door opening or anything. And all you know is you look over and there's his little demon curly headed face. Mom, I've got to go pee. Okay. I mean, you know how to go to the bathroom by yourself. I think he was scared. It was dark. And let's go into my parents' room and see what they're up to. And it was
first time that's happened?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 100%. And it was, I've thought about it nonstop since. And luckily, their Gaga took them last night. So listen, we were able to complete the mission, as it were, last night. But it was one of the more, it was one of the more traumatizing things. Again, there's so many parents in
Did he have
in the
questions?
chat.
Did he?
Nope.
What did he just did not say anything about it?
Not a word, man. Which actually, Benny, makes it a little bit weirder and worse. When we got up yesterday, I looked at her. She looked at me. I was like, "You go first." She's like, "You go first." Went out. Everything was fine. Didn't say a word. I figured Bo would be brought into the loop. He was not. And I sat there and I kept looking at Taylor with a side eye all day. I didn't get a side eye. Like maybe he was so tired. He was like just had to pee and sleepwalking and didn't make the connection or whatever because he doesn't have any
age
idea.
Without context, it may not seem that unusual to him. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it is unusual when your parents are
wrestling.
doing that.
They're just wrestling.
Wrestling.
Yeah.
Vocally and in the throes of passion and delight. It wasn't great. I'll tell you that. It was not a cool experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the first time it's happened. Now, you have to he'd been in bed for like an hour. So we assumed after the day we'd had on the boat and all that, like that dude's going to be
exhausted.
knocked out.
Hours and hours. Yeah.
He's not getting up out of bed. There's no way they're tucked cozily in their bed. And, he walked right in and just his little face right by the bed, just sidled right up very sneakily. Mom, I have to go pee. And just both of us just.
Do you not have
terrified.
A door lock?
We had a door shut. We did not have it locked. Yeah. It was really, really, really something.
I said, no, let the boy watch.
The great Will
Ashley
Ferrell
Schaefer.
from Ashley Schaefer, BMW, Eastbound and Down. So that's been the most embarrassing thing that's happened on the trip so far. But it was, again, I looked at her. I go yesterday, about halfway through the day, I go, anything? She goes, no, nothing. I go, all right, well, maybe he out of sight, out of mind, or he's down there spilling the beans to his grandparents as we speak. I have no idea. But holy cow, that was good guess, though, Benny. On second guess.
I mean, I am a parent, so
what did you call it?
In flagrante delicto. That's the Latin for caught in the act.
Who speaks?
How do you know
Latin?
this?
Yeah, what is that from? Is that from some famous book or something?
I don't know where it's from. It's just kind of a Latin saying for caught in the act.
Well, we were in flagrante. What is it?
Delicto. I believe
it was delicto up until that point. I'll tell you that right now. Very, very delicto, and then not so much. And then just the immediate. And there was no coming back from that night. You know what I mean? There was no like, hey, let me get him dialed in,
and we'll
then
just
I'll
pick this up where we left off.
The gear at that point had been. It was in submission at that point. There was just no, Paulie, that's exactly the drop I was looking for. That's the exact noise that I wanted to hear after the in flagrante delicto that happened in our bedroom. And man, I'll never forget it as long as I live. Hopefully he will forget it. So that's been my favorite story of the trip so far.
Now, I've got a story for you as well from Friday. It's a short one. Let's get to it. We'll check traffic, come back, set the menu. I'll let you know what a tier 1 put me through on Friday afternoon right after the show. That is coming up next here with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
Nothing like a trash can to slow you down, and that's what we got on the 8 westbound at Magnolia Avenue, so just be extra careful. Then the southbound side of the 5 slows down with a crash in the right lane at Harbor Drive, exit 11A, and then just after that, somebody broke down at 6th Avenue, exit 16, and the right lane is also blocked. I'm Sue Aller with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Kelly off one more day. We got at least Sue for now. We'll see if that holds all morning long. So
musical chairs on Friday.
So we have obviously a fairly eventful show with AJ Preller on Friday morning, and then right after the show, I went home for a couple of hours before going back for Channel 10, and I wanted to have lunch with my boys. So we went out to a place we go to in Encinitas, a little local spot in. It's actually the Himalayan Kitchen in the Sprouts Shopping Center. Woods, you know where that is. El Camino Real Encinitas Boulevard. And we have a quick, nice lunch, and then we're walking
a little Himalayan lunch.
Yeah, it's they got a great lunch special there. Boys like it too. So we're walking back out to the parking lot, grocery store parking lot, and my car is, parked like 3 rows back. So as we're walking, taking our first step off the curb, I have to go past some other cars, and there's this like work van that's just right there. As we're going to just walk right by it, and as I'm about to take that first step, guy in the van, I don't see him sitting there, just lays on the horn right next to me. I jump back like 3 feet. Oh my goodness. Exactly. I'm having a heart attack. My boys are dying laughing. He rolls down the window and goes, "Big Tier 1, love the show." And it's like, well, don't do that because you're going to kill me if you do that. I didn't get his name. I was too checking my pulse rate still to see that I was still alive. But thank you for that, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if you loved me, you would not do that, okay? Like, if you truly, truly loved me, you would not have. You could have just rolled the window down and
please
said,
say hello.
"Hey!"
Yeah, say, "Hey, love the show. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm so-and-so." Don't lay on the horn when I'm 1 foot away from your car.
It's so good. That's so good, dude. Oh, man. Oh, real quick before we go to break and get to the Padres wrap-up, wanted to give our beloved Tier 1, Caitlin, a birthday shout-out. One of our most loyal and dedicated Tier 1s, always in the chat, listens every day. So, Caitlin, we love you. Happy birthday to you. I hope it's
Happy birthday, Caitlin. All right, yeah, we got our wrap up the entire weekend. How the new Padres fared, fairly well, seems to be the answer. A nice integration of the new players into the lineup, into the bullpen, and now in the next couple of days into the starting rotation as we'll look ahead to the series against the Arizona Diamondbacks that begins tonight. We'll have our Monday guest, Craig Elston, at 7:35, and our Linsider, Dennis Lynn, at 8:35 as we continue our Padres coverage. All of our regular features as well, including we got some Padres Red Sox tickets, Paulie, it looks like, to give away for
all week long.
This coming weekend.
We are giving away tickets all week long for Friday's game. Gwen and Chris will be giving away tickets all week long to Saturday's game.
Nice. So stay tuned for that opportunity to win coming up. But let's get to the timeout, and we'll come back with all the highlights of yesterday's mostly comfortable 7-3 win until it wasn't in the last couple of minutes of the game, but they did get it done. And a series victory over the St. Louis Cardinals that is coming up next. Good morning. It is Monday. Ben, Woods, and Paul with you here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Before we get into the Padres wrap-up, I wanted to quickly address the roster move the Padres made yesterday before the game started, because I saw a lot of Padres fans saying that the team did Randy Vasquez dirty by sending him down to the minor leagues. Guy has been so critical to the Padres, just maintaining and staying in the playoff race over this summer. Yeah. And he has one kind of bad outing, one bad inning, really. 5 bad batters, essentially. And he's off to the minor leagues the next day. So they did send Randy Vasquez down to the minors yesterday to AAA because they had to activate Nestor Cortes, one of their trade deadline acquisitions. Cortes had spent the maximum 30 days in rehab, minor league rehab, after his stint on the 60-day injured list. So the Padres either had to activate him or release him, essentially, and put him on the 26-man roster. So the Padres had to pick someone to go back down to AAA, and it had to be a pitcher. And they really had no other choices because in their bullpen, the only guys like at the back of their bullpen, Yuki Matsui and Wandy Peralta, they don't have options. So had they sent them down, they would have had to DFA them and release them. And I don't believe the Padres wanted to release either of those guys. Randy Vasquez simply had the bad luck of being the one guy who had minor league options remaining and thus could be sent down to AAA. So don't view that as some sort of indictment necessarily on one bad performance by Randy Vasquez. Will he come back? I would almost certainly think, well, if there's an injury, he'll come back. But if there's, the roster's expanding in September, there should be a spot for Randy Vasquez with the San Diego Padres. He was just the victim of a numbers game yesterday, and that's sometimes how baseball works. It happened to Matt Waldron last year as well in kind of a similar fashion. He was so good, but by the end of the year, they had upgraded and didn't really need him at the end of the season anymore. So you didn't see him until the rosters were called up. I think he made that last start final weekend in Arizona, but that was pretty much it for Matt Waldron after he played such a critical role last year.
I mean, look, it's a really, really gnarly business. And as long as you have options, it's always in the back of your mind that, yes, they will probably exercise these at some point. Kudos to Strandy Vasquez, as he's called on Twitter. He really, really was able to keep us in so many ball games. You didn't read much into Shilt's comments after the game, Benny, when he talked about, hey, I need to make it very clear here, that, we can't ask our bullpen to throw 5 innings. Did you feel like he was a little bit perturbed at Randy in particular?
I don't know if it was at Randy. I think, honestly, it was probably directed more at guys like Dylan Cease and we need our veterans to go deeper into games to spare our bullpen a little bit. How can you complain about Randy Vasquez is not going deep into games when you're the one who's been pulling him after 4 2/3 innings and 67 pitches every time? Now, it's probably smart baseball because, his third time through the order penalty is pretty severe and you just didn't want to see it, but you just hadn't given him the chance for months to actually do it. That's not necessarily Randy's fault. I don't think he's demanding to come out of the game after 4 2/3 innings every single time. It's Mike Shildt who's making that decision that he's going to his really good bullpen to protect narrow leads. Now, with a 4-0 lead, I can see why he was hoping Randy Vasquez pitched a little bit better and could have gotten through maybe 6 in that they finally gave him a few runs, and unfortunately he was unable to hold that. So I'm sure everyone was a little disappointed, Randy included, that he couldn't hold on to a 4-run lead and make it a little deeper into that game in particuor.
Yeah, I was just listening to the audio, honestly, from Saturday. It was pretty awkward back and forth with Shildt and I think it was Jeff Sanders of the UT. And he was just kind of asking him about, you got this new bullpen now. When do you have to – is it tough to make that decision on when to pull the trigger and burn your starting pitcher and go to the bullpen? And Shildt did the whole, I'm not sure I understand the question. I don't know what you're trying to say. Boy. And then,
all right. Not sure what to tell you. I mean, I understand the genesis of the question, but I also have to make it very clear right now. We cannot pitch 5 innings every night out of our bullpen.
Okay. They had asked and answered.
Yeah.
Kind of setting the stage for future decisions like, hey, you've been so aggressive with your bullpen. Why'd you leave your starter out there for 6 innings when he was struggling a little bit? He's answering that question in advance. We can't always go to the bullpen as early as we've been doing it lately. That's unsustainable over the course of the last 2 months of the season.
Yeah, no question. Well, let's get to the wrap up. We'll hear about yesterday's. A little dicier than it needed to be there at the end, but we don't complain about victories on this show.
Series victories as well. We'll get all the highlights from Jesse and Tony coming up right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
This report is brought to you by Robert Half. Got a problem on the 15 on the southbound side at the 76. It's a collision to slow you down, and then a stall on the southbound side of the 5. The right lane is blocked at 10th Avenue, exit 16. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI work quickly to find the candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today. I'm Sue Alley with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
Oh, yes.
It's the
Padres wrap-up.
Brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort with gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
I want to go fast, but I want to go slow, and I want to go deep.
0-1 is launched in the air to deep right center field. Walker's going back on the track, at the wall, looking up, gonna go! Jake Cronenworth, a 2-run homer. And the Padres finally strike against Palante. It's 2-0. Contreras swings on 2-1, hits it in the air to deep right center field. Long run, Jackson Merrill on the track. He will reach out and make the catch. Tatis was kind of cutting behind him, so they had to sort of navigate around one another, but Merrill stuck with it all the way and went a very long way to make the catch. Here's the pitch on the way. Walker swings and misses, strike 3, and on 10 pitches, Jeremiah Estrada strikes out the side in the top of the 7th inning. First pitch, Merrill swings, grounds it towards first. That's a fair ball down the line. Here we go. Fermin scored. Fernando's on his way. Machado being waved at third. The relay comes into first. No chance. A bases clearing triple for Merrill. And it's 5-0 in the 7th. Munoz delivers, and that's in the air to right field. Well struck. Walker's going back. He's on the warning track at the wall. It's going to go! Apo Taco for Raone Lauraniano. His first is a Padre. 16th of the season, and now 7-0 in the 8th. This is lined into right field. That's down to the base hit. Burleson will score. Contreras will be held. Another run in. It's 7-2, and still the Cardinals have the bases loaded and nobody out. Here it is on 1 and 2, and a line drive caught by Suarez. The game is over. Far more interesting than anybody in that first base dugout wanted it to be in the 9th inning. But the Padres literally hold on for the victory as Suarez snags the line drive to end the game. Cardinals get 3 in the 9th, but that's all. And the Padres wrap a 5-1 homestand with a 7-3 win over the St. Louis Cardinals.
I couldn't have been more pleased with the whole game, really. I mean, it was almost an unblemished game. You know, a little hiccup in the 9th. But, yeah, man, everything on display today, you know, usually starts on the hill. Dylan was fantastic. Recovered from a longer first inning, 28 pitches, able to sit at 90 and go to our bullpen from there.
Dylan Cease, we had a text thread going before the game. We're between the three of us kind of saying what an important start this was for Dylan Cease. Still with the team post-trade deadline after having struggled so much throughout the summer. Would this allow him to feel a little comfortable going forward? Wouldn't be the first time that a player with a trade deadline and rumors swirling around, and Dylan Cease never said one thing about the trade rumors bothering him. He at least acted internally, you know, or at least in the clubhouse, like, hey, part of baseball, it's fine, you know, just go out and do my job. But
he actually told AJ Preller, he goes, you don't have to worry about me, which I thought was, you know, it's certainly not a perspective that I think I would be able to use if I were in his exact position, right? But
that's a veteran move, though, by a veteran.
It's a veteran move.
You
Say,
know,
hey, man, you don't got to worry about me.
I saw he was talking about. He was like, I came in here yesterday, meaning Thursday.
Got my work.
He's like, got my work done. Like it was just another off day for Dylan Cease.
But
business as usual.
What has been Dylan Cease's problem most of the year? It's not his stuff. His stuff is still really good. It's generally putting away guys, maybe trying to be too fine in certain circumstances, and rarely have the Padres given him many runs to work with. So he's always walking this tightrope, and he then falls off, like in the 4th inning or the 5th inning, and gives up 3 and ends up losing the game. I mean, we saw that story play out time and time again in so many of Dylan Cease's starts. But now he's gotten through the trade deadline, so he knows he's on this team. He can have a comfort level going in, like, maybe I don't have to be perfect every pitch. And he now has a lineup that feels like you also don't have to be perfect. If I gave up 1 or 2 or 3 runs even, I've got a deep lineup that's probably going to score 5, 6, 7, as they have done, you know, consistently lately. And I thought he threw with a little more freedom in the game yesterday. Was he perfect? No, he struggled in the first inning a bit, went to 25 pitches, wasn't necessarily efficient. But after that, He absolutely locked in. And the next 4 innings were 4 of the best Dylan Cease innings we've seen all season long. Just looked like that vintage, you can't touch me, Dylan Cease. The only guy that got on was on a horrible swing on a catcher's interference because Dylan Cease had blown him away so badly. That's how good he looked in those last 4 innings.
Yeah, and I was just reading this new piece from our pal Dylan, Letters to AJ. Cease now has the most strikeouts, 99 in innings 1 through 3 of any pitcher in baseball. On Sunday, he was more dominant the second time through the order. Mixed his pitches much better. Freddy Fine, I know the catcher's interference, fine, but stole a couple of strikes for him. The framing of Freddy Fine is light years ahead of Diaz and Maldonado, and he's contributing offensively. Really like this pickup from the San Diego Padres. I think he's only going to get better. So yeah, man, that was it was really, really nice and well needed. And you know, when it comes to being able to have your 6th best reliever with like a 2 ERA in David Morgan, that's pretty great. Like you have Miller and Morgan warming up, and hey, if it stays close, we'll go to Mason. If it doesn't, we'll go to Morgan. Morgan comes in, gets the job done. Yeah, finally, a little hiccup for Adrian Morejon. Now, what is it, right? Is it a symptom of just having a bad day? Is it a symptom of, I haven't pitched in 4 days and I'm a little bit rusty? So didn't really worry about it. We got the job done. Suarez had to come in, yes, and get the job done. It was a little bit dicey on all aspects, had the tying run at the plate, but at the end of the day, you got the job done.
Yeah, Jeremiah Estrada was so good coming back a day after he gave up that 2-run double, came back with 10 pitches, and honestly should have been an immaculate inning. Got squeezed on the one pitch that was not called a strike during that inning in the 7th, was absolutely brilliant. And Morgan, as you mentioned, he's really now the 6th best Padres reliever. Yep. I can't even if I'm the other team and they bring in this guy and you're thinking, okay, we're in their back of their bullpen. Here comes their 6th best reliever, and it's David Morgan throwing like a 98-mile-an-hour sinker that's diving in with incredible movement. You're just going, this is their 6th best reliever. This is the guy we get when we're down 5 runs late in the game. That's how nasty the bullpen is. I think it's disheartening for other teams to know if we don't take a lead in the first 5 innings, we're screwed against this San Diego Padres team. Now, yes,
certainly they have the potential to be screwed there. Now, again, it's going to depend on what levers Mike Shildt pulls. And we haven't talked about Saturday's game, which was kind of a frustrating loss when you blow a 4-run lead. And, that it's kind of in my mind, it's kind of a mini punt, by Shildt. You're hoping for the best at that point after you blow that lead. But I'm telling you, man, Yuki Matsui's ineffectiveness has been so tough to watch. But, guys like Wandy Peralta have stepped up, having a really, really good season now, very reliable. There's a lot of weapons down there. It's up to Shildt to know when to pull those. And hey, man, he's got good options down there.
Yeah, Wandy's pitched well, really well lately. I mean, he's clearly your number 7 option now. And I don't really want to see Yuki Matsui in a game unless it's out of hand one way or the other. I mean, he's your mop-up guy now. He's your mop-up one way or another. You're down 5, you're up 5 or more. And that's when probably you'll see Yuki Matsui pitching in games, unless he turns it around and starts throwing a little bit better. Now, offensively yesterday had the makings of one of those very frustrating games for the Padres, especially early when they had all kinds of traffic on the base paths in the first 3 innings and could not get anything out of it against Andre Palante. They only had 1 hit all game long with runners in scoring position. Very pre-deadline a couple months ago, feeling like Padres couldn't do much offensively. But the difference now with this new lineup wasn't necessarily one of the new guys. It was Jake Cronenworth. But the fact that you now have Jake Cronenworth batting in the 8th slot because of the additions that you've made have turned the Padres' biggest weakness, and we talked about this last week, your 7, 8, 9 slot that was the biggest weakness of the San Diego Padres has now turned into a fairly large strength for the San Diego Padres. Jake Cronenworth's, I think, WRC plus is 114. So he's 14% better than an average hitter.
Yep.
And you're getting him out in the 8 hole. Most teams will happily accept like a 90, 85 WRC plus player at the bottom of their lineup. Now the Padres have an actual plus offensive player there at number 8. And it's you see what a difference it makes now. And it makes it just much harder for opposing pitchers to navigate the entirety, Woods, of the San Diego Padres
and
lineup.
lengthening your lineup like this, like I've seen people talking about like Gavin Sheets, kind of like how we talked about Randy Vasquez earlier. Like, hey, it's a cold business, like you have one bad game, it feels like, and then you get sent down. All of a sudden, Gavin Sheets has been a guy that came out of nowhere all season long for the Padres and had a lot of clutch moments. And now it's like, bro, you're on the bench. Like, sorry. And I'm thinking, yeah, that sucks, but what a bat to have coming off the bench compared to what we've seen throughout the whole season up to this point.
Well, and he said, he understands it. He understands it. He understands his role. That's a really mature player. That's a guy that's been through it and realizes, his value to the team. And he's going to get some starts. Of course he will. But to have that length is crazy. And you look at what the bottom of the lineup did yesterday, and I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can go 6 down, right? O'Hearn with a knock, Laureano with 2, Cronenworth with 1, Fermin with 2, drove in three runs at the bottom of your order. I mean, it's outstanding. That's exactly what you're looking for. Jackson Merrill, obviously, in the cleanup spot with the big 3-run triple. It's fantastic, man. It's everything we were missing from this team, and now they really look like a complete lineup with a complete bench as well. So, kind of the dream right now, guys. If what they can, keep this thing going, this is a pretty formidable team.
The biggest addition, though, in my mind, it was not Mason Miller. I think it was Raone Lauraniano, and he showed that off with the home run that he hit in the bottom of the 8th inning, his first as a Padre, because when it left the bat, I thought, watching on television, as I've seen happen, a million times at Petco Park, that's a deep fly out. That's good. Yeah. It's a good strike, but that's a deep fly out at Petco Park because almost no one, unless your name is, Tatis or Manny, and you really crank it the other way, has the ability to do that. And when I saw that Raone Lauraniano now also has the ability to do that, and he also has a swing where he can hit that pull home run at Petco Park, kind of hit the Higgy Bank like Kyle Higashioka did, and you will see that at some point, I believe, from Raone Lauraniano as well. That, to me, is the critical addition for the San Diego Padres down the stretch. Someone who has the ability to put together some offense at Petco Park, because that was huge.
It was massive. And you saw even on a couple of the flyouts, they were highlighting it on the broadcast, the arm that guy has in left field as well. I mean, holy smokes, back to the wall, fields it off the wall, and throws an absolute seed to Crony at second base. Didn't get the guy out, but man, he's got that cannon. You got Tatis at the other corner with that cannon, and holy smokes, man, these guys look like the real deal. And I'll tell you what, man, I like Ryan O'Hearn too. I like him a lot. Wore the pitch in his first AB, was able to scratch out a knock yesterday, but there's just something once he gets going and really settles in, they're as deep as it gets. They're as deep as it gets in the big leagues.
I also want to give the Padres and really Mike Shildt and his coaching staff credit as well for something that we don't talk about enough. And we saw the Cardinals play some sloppy baseball this weekend. Sometimes it cost them, sometimes it didn't, but we have rarely seen that from the San Diego Padres. I mean, every team has about a day here or there where you commit some errors or things don't go perfectly, but for the most part, the Padres are a very clean baseball team, and I don't think we appreciate that enough. And that goes all the way back to spring training and taking care of the little things, details that I do believe that Mike Shildt is on top of. And, it helped them this weekend, no doubt. Beat the St. Louis Cardinals 2 out of 3, playing clean baseball. And I don't think we talk about that enough, guys.
Well, yeah, for sure. And the across the street there, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cardinal Way, that's what they preach. And you didn't see it at all. And I'll tell you, man, Wilson Contreras, he absolutely torches the Padres. Never want to see him again. But he may be the worst defensive first baseman I've ever seen. I know he's still fairly new to the position, but imagine having that. Now, the bat, we always say, man, having a bat like that certainly makes up for any defensive, disability that he may have. I don't know that it does. I mean, he cost his team a win on Friday night. I mean, just a horrific butcher down there at first base. So I don't know, man. Like, these guys that we got, they're good defensively. They have pop. They complete the lineup. Really nice additions and really, really good baseball played this weekend.
All right, we will get into the other two games in a little bit more detail coming up in the second hour of Ben and Woods. I think we're at the point now with about 50 games left where it's important to really take stand of where the Padres are in the standings in terms of the wild card, the divisional chase, even the seedings in the playoffs, because they didn't make these acquisitions to just sneak into the playoffs as a 6 seed. They made these acquisitions because they want to move up. They want to move up and try to win a division, get a bye in the first round, and increase their chances of success in October. So, where do they stand? How did they do this weekend against the other teams that are chasing playoff spots and first-round byes and division titles? We'll go through all of that coming up, as well as we look forward to hour number 2. We'll also talk with Craig Elston, our buddy, coming up at 7:35, and we got a segment of Don't Do This all on the way on a Monday morning. More Ben and Woods coming up. Thanks for joining us on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Hour number 2, Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. Talked about yesterday's win. We got weekend games to go back through as well as the Padres win on Friday in their first game after the trade deadline, but of course lose on Saturday, end up taking 2 out of 3 from the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, I did not get to go. I wanted to go at least for a little while on Friday night, but my anchor duties at Channel 10 prevented me from actually getting to the game. I heard it was, pretty electric, but not necessarily to the level of, the Juan Soto trade deadline post-acquisition today on Friday night at Petco Park. I had a couple people who said, yeah, it was good, but it wasn't like crazy electric atmosphere post-trade deadline. I don't know what you guys heard about that game as well. I know Nick Pivetta was fantastic, as he always is.
Yeah, he was great. Obviously, the Mason Miller entrance coming in, giving up a knock. Then that scorcher, man, he couldn't get to. But then the insane strikeout, the double play that was just beautiful, gets him out of it. Scoreless inning for him. Again, like he's used to pitching in stadiums with a lot of people when he goes on the road, but they're never cheering for him. So that's the different part for him. This has got to be a cool experience for those guys that came over. I mean, really all of them, or O'Hearn and Laureano and Sears and Miller and Fermin. This is pretty special for those guys to have 45,000 on a Friday night, just absolutely losing their minds. I couldn't tell, I'm watching it on a telephone here, Ben. I couldn't tell what the atmosphere was like. Certainly sounded loud and pretty nuts, but I just keep thinking to myself, my God, man, we have Mason Miller on this team. Like, this is insane. Mason Miller. And
I was talking with some friends who were a little skeptical, I think, of the move, the Miller move in particular. And, you have a lot, man, for a bullpen arm, I'm like, I hear you. But then by like Sunday, still having those same conversations, you could kind of see people's mentality had already changed after Friday night when they saw that 102.8 mile an hour fastball in a Padres win on a Friday night. Everyone that I talked to was like, yeah, that was nasty. Like, that was awesome. I get it now. I see the vision. I see the super pen. Like, I'm all in. Let's go.
Yeah, no question.
Mela's 24 in the chat says, yeah, Friday's game went nuts. Once Miller hit that 103 mile an hour pitch, people did go wild. And we got a sneak preview this weekend of how Mike Shildt plans to deploy the bullpen. He can always hold probably at least one of those guys in reserve. And we saw obviously on Friday, didn't need to use Adrian Morejon. He only needed Mason Miller, so he was able to keep Jason Adam rested that day. And then he has, guys who are rested for the next couple of days, just used a little, of course, of Jeremiah Estrada on Saturday, and then used everybody but Mason Miller on Sunday. So he'll be quite rested and ready going into Monday. But I would imagine it's just kind of going to be this try to every other day as much as you can, save one guy or, two guys so they can be fresh for the next day and see if you can just keep that going for the rest of the season.
Well, that and the offensive outbursts, those will help, being able to put up multiple runs, not having to worry about using those high leverage guys. It's a delicate balance, man, of keeping guys sharp. And, you see it every day on Twitter. Why are we going to him here? I saw it was a closer recently. I can't remember who it was. Came in. He hadn't pitched in a week, and then they're like, why are they throwing him in a 5-run game? And I don't think he did very well. And look, I mean, there's a method to their madness. Again, we all, want to think that we know how to manage a bullpen better. I can promise you none of us do. But there's a plan for these guys, and you have to figure out, how to get them work and when. And sometimes it doesn't always match up with what we think is the right thing to do. So it's a very unenviable task managing a bullpen. And look, especially one with so many weapons, that's like 5-6 guys that are absolute rockets. And you're like, how do I get them all in? I certainly don't want to do it every day. I mean, but you talk about lengthening our lineup. We've lengthened the hell out of our bullpen too, and it's just going to be a whole different set of issues for Shildt to manage.
In an ideal world, and of course baseball never plays out that way, but you'd have your starters go, 6 strong innings as often as possible,
right?
And then you'd go with 3 of your high leverage arms in a close game one day, and then you go with the other 3 of your high leverage arms in a close game the next day, and then on the third day, your offense puts up like 9 or 10 runs, and you go with, Yuki Matsui and Wandy Peralta on that third day, and then you just reset it all and keep going for the rest of the season. Now, baseball never works out that simply for managers where they can just kind of pencil out a week in advance and go, yeah, here's my reliever for Tuesday, here's my relievers for Wednesday. You have to play it as the situation dictates, as the matchups dictate, and sometimes you're going to need guys to go back-to-back days. Sometimes guys will be tired. Robert Suarez is not going to close every game the rest of the season. Mason Miller will get a chance in the ninth inning because they don't want to overuse Robert Suarez. So he will get those ninth inning opportunities occasionally as well. And it's going to be up to Mike Shildt and Ruben Niebla to kind of work that dance forward to keep guys fresh, but also make sure they get enough work, as you said, Woods, and also keep your lower leverage guys in the game. And, because you might need them for a big outs here or there at some point early in the game. And that's the dance that they have to, put together for the rest of the season.
Well, how wild was it yesterday? Jason Adam coming in the sixth inning? You're like, holy crap. Jason Adam in the sixth, Estrada, and on we go. You scored some runs, so you were able to go to Morgan there. It's pretty beautiful, man, when it all works out. And, yesterday, yes, I do understand it did get a little dicey. I think Morejon was due for a hiccup, hadn't thrown in a while, so not too worried about him. He'll right the ship there. And, again, maybe it wasn't the highest leverage for him. Maybe that's where he's really thrived this year. There's a million things that go into it, but I'll take our pen against anybody's.
Yeah, I was
really,
surprised.
Really
I was a little surprised to see him, but then I realized you can't just sit him for a week and expect him to be sharp, so you have to use him. Perhaps they didn't love the matchups for most of the series. I mean, you didn't see him all series until the last day. And then it was in a 7-0 game. It's not that they've lost faith in Adrian Morejon. He's been the best reliever pretty much in baseball all season long. It's simply, he never had the right lane of lefties that they thought they'd go to. And it's going to be much more matchup based. Like Adam, they picked Adam in the sixth inning because they liked him specifically against whatever three guys were coming up, because they could have gone Estrada in the sixth and Adam in the seventh. But for whatever reason, they felt like, okay, I like Estrada better against these next three guys. So they're going to be much more matchup based with who they bring into the game. We may see Mason Miller in the sixth or seventh inning sometimes based on matchups and who's coming into the game. And certainly Adrian Morejon could pitch in any inning, as we've already seen, when tough lefties are coming up and the game's close. So it's going to be much more matchup based, I think, the rest of the year.
Yeah, fine by me, man. That's on them to make those decisions. I'm pretty confident in everybody we got down there, other than Yuki probably at this point. But, like you said, there's even a spot for him. If you get up or down a bunch, get in there, get some outs. But yeah, it's pretty beautiful to see, and certainly beautiful to think about. I think about it all the time. I think about that pen more in the day than I probably should, and the lineup now as well. I think about it constantly. So AJ Preller really did a great job at addressing the needs, and now it's up to Shildt and the crew to figure out how to use these guys and win a lot of baseball games. How many games left, Benny? 50?
The Padres have, I think it's 50. Yeah, exactly 50. Yeah, exactly 50 left.
50 games to go,
and,
people.
And on Saturday night when the Padres blew the 4-0 lead, and my mom texted me, it's just kind of like that green faced emoji, and I go,
the sick.
They weren't going to go 53-0 the rest of the way.
That's true. That's true. They were not.
I mean, if you can come back and win the series, it's fine. Yep. It was never going to be 53-0. You don't want to blow a lot of 4-0 leads. Let's say that's a bad thing, to set a precedent going forward, but it's not going to be perfect the rest of the way. Hey, we're guilty of it. I'm sure you were out there. You win on Friday, you get your new lineup in, they score in the first runs. 3 innings, you're up 4-0. We were all feeling pretty good.
Oh yeah.
At that moment. And
maybe even some idiot decides to text his buddies about how different this team feels, or maybe tweet something about it with a Mr. Miyagi face. Maybe some idiot does that. Maybe that idiot has learned.
I'm pretty sure every group of friends had the same text threads and the same feelings, like, holy, this is going really well.
Maybe that idiot has learned his lesson and will only be tweeting words of encouragement after a dub. But yeah, pretty good work from the fellas lately.
But one of the biggest developments of the weekend, Jackson Merrill had a big hit in every single game. 2-out single on Friday, home run, his first his first since the 2-homer game against Wheeler. And really, other than that game, he hadn't hit another one since May. So to see him connect like that over 400 feet to center, it looked more like last year's Jackson Merrill than this year's. And then, of course, the 3-run triple yesterday. Getting Merrill hot, I mean, is just as important as adding Laureano and O'Hearn and Fermin to the lineup in order to extend the Padres offense. So even though they lost on Saturday, to see Jackson Merrill go deep in that game, that was a welcome sight as well. Because
I wonder if he's a second half player, because I remember, I mean, he was good last year in the first half. He's good enough to make an all-star nod for sure. But all those clutch home runs, I remember them, so many of them being in the second half of the year.
They were in August, particularly. Had a bunch of those going forward. And I want to point something out that I was thinking about this weekend, because the Padres are 12 games above 500 and very, very similar in terms of record to where they ended up being last year at this time. 2022 was in the similar vein in the second half of the season. But remember both of those years. They had so many special, incredible walk-off comeback wins. LFGSD in 2022, Jackson Merrill doing insane things with late inning, come from behind home runs last year. They really haven't had any of that this year. And that's actually a good thing, to be able to put together a decent record without needing to pull a rabbit out of the hat, once a week with an incredible comeback, an incredible walk-off. They've just been kind of playing solid winning baseball for, the better part of the season, certainly since the All-Star break. And it doesn't require a miracle every other day for it to happen. No one has to just absolutely come through in huge clutch situations over and over like they did in 2022 and 2024. And to me, that's more of the sign of a team that you would expect to go deep into the playoffs than one that eventually, of course, the magic always runs out. There's no inexhaustible supply of walk-off magic for any team, and they haven't needed it this year, really.
No question. There's no question. And you're right. I'm not discounting your point even a little bit. We have had, though, on the pitching side, in my opinion, a lot of magic. I mean, honestly, and I think it's because of the defense, and I think it's because of the pitching. You think about what we were able to do without Michael King. You think about what we were able to do without Darvish, without Musgrove, with Dylan Cease being not great. There's magic in that, right? There's a ton of magic that's been done by guys like Steven Kolek, who is now a Royal, Ryan Bergert, who's now a Royal, Randy Vasquez, who's just been sent down. I honestly, whatever walk-off magic we didn't get this year, we were able to tap into some magic pitching-wise and playing good defense, bailing those guys out. Those guys really gritting it out and gutting it out a lot this season. There's been a lot of magic on the pitching side, plus that bullpen's been nails pretty much all season with a couple of little hiccups, which is not uncommon. So love the magic there. Now you just feel, I think the word I feel when I think about the San Diego Padres right now is solid. I think they're just solid, not super spectacular, but just solid. That's how I feel. Solid is the right word.
Grind you down.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if they do tap into a little bit of offensive magic, my goodness, then you could start seeing really huge stretches. I mean, they've already won 7 of their last 8, but they might have a couple more of those types of stretches the rest of the season, just based on what the lineup is capable of doing and what the pitching staff is capable of doing.
You look at the schedule you have ahead of you. I mean, they already, before the deadline, had one of the easier, if not the easiest, strength of schedule in the second half. And then all of the teams that were kind of hanging in there, but not really, they sold off. Teams like the team we're playing tonight, for example, the Diamondbacks. So, all of those pretty winnable games became extremely winnable games now for the rest of the season. Yeah, and yes, some of the good teams got better. You just you faced them all in the first half for the most part.
Well, and you feel the pressure, right? Going in and taking on a depleted Diamondbacks team the next 3 nights, certainly, without some of their killers, with no Eugenio Suarez in their lineup. I mean, but these are those games. You got to win these games, right? This is no longer like, oh man, 2 really tough teams battling for, a wild card or a division. It's like, no, there's no excuse.
2 out of 3 minimum.
You got to roll through these cats.
Yep.
All right, let's take a time out. When we come back, we will get to a little Don't Do This, including baseball's version of They were calling it Firefest in Tennessee over the weekend.
Oh, that looked awful.
Never a good thing. We'll get to that coming up. And then Craig Elston at the bottom of the hour. Don't go away. More Ben and Woods continuing next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 0000466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
First, though, I was there last week at 7 Mile Casino for the Sunday making contest and enjoying the patio. It is really such a beautiful spot there, right down Chula Vista Bayside off the 5 freeway, where San Diego's best card room has been for years. And if you haven't checked it out, Woods and I say, hey, get down there sometime this week and play some cards at 7 Mile Casino.
Yeah, no question about it. I'm still in Hawaii, and but I do know that 7 Mile will be waiting for me when I get back. Just a short drive down the 5 in Chula Vista. Great place. You got all the card games that you're looking for. They got Texas Hold'em, Pai Gow, Baccarat, and of course, my beloved California-style blackjack.
Dealers are friendly. Chairs are comfy. It is just an upscale atmosphere, and they love high-limit players. So if you're looking for a higher-level game, 7 Mile Casino is the place for you. They'll take care of you. 35% discount on food from Sammy's while you're playing at the table. If you're waiting, it's a great spot with a full bar. And again, that patio that's just amazing right there on the water looking out toward Coronado and San Diego Bay. Check it out today, 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Homesick Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Homesick Casino Resort, the players' place.
Don't do this. Brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't.
Leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do.
Set up a trust or will online at trustandwill.com.
This
is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. Yeah, when you see comments comparing the MLB Speedway Classic to baseball's version of Firefest from people who went to the game and just had a miserable experience on Saturday when the Atlanta Braves and Cincinnati Reds were scheduled to play the first ever game inside a NASCAR track at Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee. They put up giant temporary stands. It was all set up, had the giant pregame ceremonies. But even before the game started, they already started having problems with parking, logistical nightmares, and then concessions with huge long lines and waits, and ultimately even running out of key elements of food. There were pictures of bunless hot dogs. They ran out of the buns, so you just got the wiener there instead of
just the wiener.
Just the wiener.
Just the raw, nude wiener.
And they still had the chips for the nachos. They just didn't have any of the cheese left. So just baskets of just plain chips that were kind of being sold. But fans were so hungry, they'd take anything they could get because they were stuck for hours after a rain delay hit. Right before the game, they got through all the opening ceremonies.
Let me start there because I was not there, obviously, but I was a consumer of the television product, and it was, I mean, this thing was effed since Jump Street. I flipped over like right at 4:00. I saw that the game was scheduled to start at 4. Flipped it over, and the first thing I see is Tim McGraw is there doing a pregame concert. Okay. I mean, NASCAR, sure. Tim McGraw,
Tennessee.
He was
taking him fishing.
He did. I like it. I love it. So he got to do the I ain't seen the Braves play a game all year. Like, okay, cool. And then he stops and he goes, "Now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Worldwide." And Pitbull comes out and they sing a song together. And I go, what is happening right now? While they're singing on the stage, the players are in the back of pickup trucks, like 2 at a time, holding on to like this thing that was like built into the truck so like they could have like a little bit of some protection there. And these trucks are just flying around the track.
Remember, the banking of NASCAR tracks is extremely steep. So if you're like hanging on, you're basically
they were like
falling out to
tilted over.
the side, almost
like Ellie De La Cruz is sitting there holding on for dear life. And I'm like, what? Oh my God. Then they finally get to the lineup introductions, and they got, this car that's a NASCAR that's painted like the Reds and one that's painted like the Braves. And they're like, here come the Atlanta Braves. And the pit crew comes out and does their whole thing. I get it. Okay, cool. Fun show. And then Joe Davis comes on. You're like, oh, of course, if this broadcast is going to have Joe Davis, because why wouldn't it?
Why wouldn't it?
When we come back, first pitch from Speedway Classic. Goes to commercial break. They come back, tarp on the field. And they go, this just came out of nowhere. I go, hey, maybe you didn't need a 45-minute concert beforehand. You could have actually played a couple of innings. And then it was a 2-hour rain delay. And, dude, I had nothing going on. I kept it on Fox. The worst rain delay theater you could imagine, dude. They had nothing planned. They just kept throwing to Ken Rosenthal. He's like, I'm standing here with this player. So what do you think of this rain? He goes, yeah, this is cool. I just, hope we can get the game in. And, like, even Derek Jeter's like, this is terrible.
And then they make the mistake of trying to play the game.
After
and
a 2.5-hour delay.
It just turns into a mud pit out there. I mean, puddles everywhere.
Derek Jeter said on the broadcast, he goes, the only reason they're trying to do this is because of what they've built. If this was any other ballpark in America, they would have banged this game by now, would play 2 tomorrow, and just go.
So they did.
I saw them playing like in a lake. I mean, it was a lake. I saw a ground ball through the left side, and guy dove for it and just slid, and I just went, oh man, you're just screwed. It's such a nightmare, man. Completely blew it.
Horrible idea.
So now they did come back and play the game yesterday. It was a little bit of a better scene. Eli White hit a pair of home runs. They had the home run car that came out, the NASCAR that ran around the track, which was kind of cool. And because the stadium is so big, the shots like of the home run, like the one that you get from the top of the stadium, it was actually like so high up that the ball like could just get right to where the camera was. Like I've never seen it closer at the top of the arc. So that was a little bit cool. I see maybe what they were going for. The execution was just very poor, apparently, from Major League Baseball over the weekend.
Well, Benjamin, speaking of poor execution, I have always thought, there are organizations that maybe they don't win a lot. Maybe, they could certainly do better, but they do things the right way. Well, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they're not one of those organizations. And it was just made even more clear when this audio emerged on Friday night before the game. The New York Yankees acquired several bullpen pieces to try to help them. They have not done so yet. It did not go well for them on Friday night. One of them was Pirates closer and Pittsburgh native David Bednar. He was talking to the Yes Network's Meredith Marakovitz before the game. This is the audio.
Who told you were getting traded, and what was your reaction when you found out you were going to be in the Bronx?
Honestly, I found out on social media before it broke. So, but no, it's definitely exciting, and it's been really cool to meet all the guys and just ready to compete with them.
Okay, walk me through it. You're going through X, and you see that you've been traded. Who do you call to make sure that's correct, or do you automatically assume it's correct?
Yeah, I called my agent and just kind of talked to some other people, and didn't get the confirmation until a little bit later. But no, just grateful for this opportunity.
Didn't get the confirmation till later. Saw it on social media that he had been traded, and no call from Ben Cherington. Certainly Bob Nutting. I was not going to pick up that phone, or Don Kelly, the manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates, because let's be honest, he probably didn't know either. But for no call from Ben Cherington, David, it's Ben. Just want to let you know you've been traded to the New York Yankees. Thanks for everything you've done here in your hometown of Pittsburgh. Thanks for all the charity work that you put in. Thanks for everything you do. We're shipping you off to the Bronx. You're going to have a chance to go out and compete. And nothing at all. Found out on social media.
Of course, David and the Yankees were part of the probably worst trade deadline debut in baseball history on Friday.
What's worse than that?
When the Yankees built a 9-4 lead in Miami against the Marlins and brought in all three of their new relief pitching acquisitions, Jake Bird, David Bednar, and Camilo Doval, who all proceeded to blow the game, and the Yankees ended up losing 13-12 in the bottom of the ninth, including an error out in right field by who was out there?
Jose Caballero.
Another of their new acquisitions as well. Just the most nightmarish debut for all the new Yankees on Friday night, and they end up getting swept in Miami over the weekend.
Well, and Welsh Fryer in the chat says I watched the Trevor May video. He said you're likely to find out you're traded from Passan, et cetera, because, and that's the thing is like I think with you heard Dylan Cease talking about the multitude of conversations that he'd had with AJ Preller, right? Like, hey man, you're on the block, as you know, don't worry about me, I'm good. It's that little extra detail from teams that you can really, like, how bad would that suck? You don't know you're being moved. There's whispers, you look, you go, oh, I guess I was traded. But to find out, maybe hours later that it actually went through, you got to call your agent and say, hey, is there any truth to this? Well, hang on, let me call. Let's figure it out. What a nightmare. What a nightmare.
Finally, I've got some questions here, but we're going to go ahead and make it a do this.
DD mega do.
You may have seen the video over the weekend of the Portland Pickles, who are, they're not a minor league team. They're like a collegiate wooden bat, like the Cape Cod League, but in the Northwest, the West Coast League with teams in Washington and Canada. College players, and it's real baseball though. I mean, these are guys who are hoping to have a future in the game. It's not the Savannah Bananas, but it's also, kind of a little more fun summary, and they do some odd promotions. And the Pickles, apparently, to wrap up their season for Fan Appreciation Weekend, announced that they would be randomly selecting a fan to come get an at-bat during the game. So they make the announcement, and this kid named Dixie, which kind of got me because I don't know if his last name was Normus. I don't think
Normus.
It was.
Dixie Normus.
But comes up in the batter's box and looks like he belongs there, other than he's not wearing the same uniform. He's got the shorts on and just a temporary uniform. He walks in his first at-bat, and they let him come up again in his second at-bat. So this is supposedly a fan from the stands. Here's what he did.
Payoff pitch. High fly ball. Left center field. Are you kidding me? 4 letters, 1 word.
I mean, Look,
He hits a home
anytime
run.
something goes viral, my first inclination is to question it. And I'm thinking, look, even if that was like a Division I baseball player, retired or whatever, and they like randomly picked him, you still got to hit the ball over the fence, and that's not easy to do. So I'm going to say that this passes.
So, and the Pickles have just announced that they have signed Dixie, their fan, to a one-day contract, and he's going to play again tonight for the Portland Pickles. See if he can do it again.
OBP of 1,000.
They've given him a real jersey this time instead of a Bat Boy jersey. And what number he is? Yeah, 69.
69.
Now, is it possible that they were already looking to sign Dixie and he just happened to be sitting in section 4, row 13? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but
it's a good bit.
It's a good bit, and I'm fine with it.
Really good.
I mean, he did hit the home run.
Great swing on it.
He put a great swing on it, and that's worth something at least to do this on a Monday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we will come back. Craig Elston, our buddy. It was a tough weekend for SDFC, but we'll talk with Craig about the Padres as well. When we come back, don't go anywhere. Ben and Woods continuing on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, first, though, good news from SDFatLoss.com. Their summer sale was scheduled to expire over the weekend, but I just got word this morning, going to extend it for everybody who did not take advantage last month. Going to get another chance here in August to get $200 off the program with SDFatLoss.com here in August. So if you've gotten through the summer and you're thinking about, back to school, the fall is coming up, and you really want to get your house in order when it comes to your weight, this is an easy way to do it. I did it in summer of 2023, and I lost 40 pounds in 60 days, and I've kept all the weight off. The program is based on eating real foods, not prepackaged meals or shakes, and you don't have to take any injections or even exercise at all. And you can lose up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. And then because you're not relying on injections or bars or shakes, it's so much easier to maintain like I have for the last 2 years. Keep that weight loss off. So go to SDFatLoss.com. Schedule your free consultation. Find out how your metabolism may be sabotaging your weight loss goals with your free consultation. Get that $200 off and start the program today at SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Got a report here, a little bit of a rocky outing yesterday for Michael King in his first rehab start for AAA El Paso. Did throw 61 pitches, getting into the fourth inning for El Paso yesterday against Round Rock, but allowed 6 runs on 4 hits, a walk, and a hit batter, including 2 home runs. So did not have a lot of command, threw only 34 pitches for strikes and 27 for balls. So definitely looked a little off in his first rehab start, but that's why you have rehab starts and you don't come straight back to the big leagues. Try to work out some of those kinks, Woods, before they activate him to the big league roster.
No, I mean, how does he feel today? That's really all that matters.
Yeah.
Who cares? I mean, that's you're back on the bump, 61 pitches, wakes up. How does he feel today? Great. We'll do it again in 4 more days and maybe even another time or 2 after that. And till you get locked back in and rejoin this rotation, which will be a nice lift to get Michael King back.
Yeah, ideally, throws another rehab start late in the week. If it goes well and he can get up to about 80 pitches and he looks like he's ready, you could activate him for that series at Dodger Stadium at the end of next week for his first start of the season. But that would be throwing him right into the fire for a very big game, but also is Michael King, probably your best starting pitcher. So we'll talk about that, Padres and more with Craig Elston, who is standing by for the Padres Hot Tub Podcast right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
This traffic report is brought to you by the Oceanside Police Department and now hiring public safety dispatchers. First, it was a trash can that fell off a truck, then a ladder, and now it's a 5-gallon gas can to slow you down. This time, it's on the northbound side of the 5 at Cannon Road, exit 48, and it's in between the HOV and the left lane. A little bit further north on the 5 at Coaster Station, there's a flipped-over car. This one takes out the right lane and right shoulder. The Oceanside Police Department is hiring public safety dispatchers. Earn up to $87,000 a year. Lateral bonuses up to $11,000. 12-hour shifts, 3-day work weeks, paid holidays, benefits, and retirement. Apply at joinopd.net. I'm Sue Aller with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, talking Padres, a little SDFC with our weekly contributor, Craig Elston, who joins us here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Craig.
Morning, fellas. Early morning, Woodsy. How you guys doing?
Good morning. Aloha to you, my friend. How are you?
Outstanding, sir. Outstanding.
I'm going to go and start with SDFC, and I'm going to just look glass half full here, Craig. I'm actually kind of glad that they don't have to worry about this Leagues Cup. Yes, they have another game tomorrow, but they've been eliminated. You can rest as many people as you want and just start focusing again on the last, 9 games they've got left in the MLS season and just kind of punt this and flush it down the toilet after dropping both of their first 2 games in the Leagues Cup competition.
Look, Ben, you're absolutely right on this one. And on the Chromaniacs podcast, we talked about it last week, that Leagues Cup just wasn't a good fit for SDFC because of the number of games played and the number of days. The league had an option. They could have put SDFC into the U.S. Open Cup this year, and they gave them Leagues Cup instead. The Open Cup is played throughout the season. It's one extra game here and there. once you lose, you're out, single elim. Leagues Cup, 3 games in 8 days for a team that doesn't have a second team and doesn't have an academy. It's just ridiculous. So I think you did learn a couple of things. I think the young back line of SDFC has been tested by Pachuca and by Tigres in ways that we've never seen before and is pretty revelatory. And I think the Mazatlan game, just like you said, is a chance to truly rest everyone, because you got Sporting KC coming up. You really got to focus on getting those MLS points.
Kreger, how surprised were you by the Milan Orlowski news that broke on the first couple days ago? I saw this when I was out here, and I saw it, and I went, wait. I'm going to need to wait till Monday to talk to Kreger. He finalized, I guess, the deal with the Philadelphia Union, the best team in the East right now, and they're adding a prolific goal scorer and one that we kind of let get away. What was your kind of reaction to that?
I was completely unsurprised.
Were you?
I was happy that he didn't go to LAFC, but they've got their sights set on Sonny from Tottenham. So, they're shooting a little bit higher, but it's so dang frustrating. And part of this is the super confusing MLS salary cap rules, because from what I understand, Union are using something called team allocated money, TAM, that already SDFC had spent theirs on Luca Della Torre and a couple of other players. Basically, SDFC was trying to get Orlowski in at a price that would have fit inside where their entire hierarchy of budget existed. Orlowski did not want to do that. He said he was going to go back to Europe, but listen, he's an MLS striker. Like, he's shown his ability to play at this level. He hasn't shown his ability to play in La Liga or Bundesliga or somewhere else. He's shown his ability to score here. So I am completely unsurprised that an MLS team went and got him and spent money for him. It's a lot more money than SDFC had. Yeah. I don't know if he's going to be great for Union, but I know this is it's just a punch in the you-know-where.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought that would probably be the reaction. Anytime it comes down to money, right? You're like, oh, okay, I guess we couldn't have done that. And now, again, he joins the best team in the East. So we'll see how he fits in with those guys. But, talking about fit, Kreger, I know you are excited about the fit of all the new players that that our general manager, AJ Preller, has acquired. And I gave you some credit on Friday. I remember talking to you maybe 6-8 weeks ago about, who we could add. And Lauraniano was one of the guys at the top of your list, and he is already paying dividends for our beloved Padres.
I think we are all becoming more used to just what it means for the final form AJ Preller to be at the deadline for a contending team. I woke up Thursday with this feeling. I didn't want to I was kind of Tatis-esque. I went golfing Thursday. I didn't airplane mode my phone, but I was trying to stay away from it a little bit, because I heard you guys as I was driving to the course that morning when the Mason Miller trade dropped, and you're like, oh my God, we traded DeVries. Yes. Wait a second. What's going wait for a reliever? We already have relievers. What's going on here? Is this team going to get any better?
It was a lot it was a lot to soak in. I don't know, about 10 seconds before we came back from commercial break. We're like, oh my God, passing bomb. And then you're just sitting there waiting. Like every trade, we're like, all right, well, what's the return? What's the return? Yep. What's the return? What's the return? And then we saw DeVries in real time. We're like, oh my God.
Well, my rule for Thursday was wait till 4:00. Just wait till it's all done, because the trades got progressively better as the day went on, and the prices made more sense as the day went on. And what we have now is a team that can win the World Series. We have a team that could win the NL West. We have a team that can go toe-to-toe with the Brewers, the Phillies, the Cubs, every tough team in this league, including LA. I love what they did. And I think that I understand why people get upset when they see the farm get gutted, when they see young prospects go. But I would just remind everybody about 2017, 2018, watching Manny Margot and Carlos Asuaje and Travis Jankowski and Hunter Renfroe. Remember Wave Zero, the waves of talent? Oh, here comes the waves. The waves are coming. That wave showed up. Nobody watched. The team was bad. And I'm pretty sure AJ Preller said right then, hang on a second. Prospects are more valuable before they get to the big leagues and reveal themselves for what they might be. And the most important thing I think for Padres fans to keep in mind is we are living with a bear in our garden. It's like you can't tend your garden. There's a bleeping bear out there. The bear's the Dodgers. Right. And it'll just trample your garden and ruin everything. So it's not like you're just living in normal time and you're able to cultivate and slowly. No, you're facing a behemoth. You'll be destroyed if you don't go toe to toe. This is just like Red Sox Yankees in the early 2000s. The war, building back and forth. So I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled with the moves that were made. We're going to miss a couple of those guys for sure. But LFGSD, this team's ready to go.
Craig, we haven't talked about it yet, but what do you think the Padres need out of their starting pitching acquisitions? JP Sears is expected to make his first start tonight, and Nestor Cortes could go on Wednesday. So we'll see both of them in this series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. How much do they need from those two guys down the stretch and at all in the playoffs as well?
I really like getting the left-handers for the obvious potential matchups against the great left-handed hitters in the National League. In terms of what they need from them, it's about what they need from all the rest of the guys. 5 innings and a couple of runs, and if you get to 6, you've done yourself a huge favor, because I think the biggest thing about adding a 5th horseman and at Padres Hot Tub, and by the way, we came up with 4 horsemen in March and then Shildt took it. So I'm waiting for him to take this
credit. We gave you credit.
We've renamed the bullpen the 5-finger death punch.
See, I had that one on Friday. I brought that one up on Friday. Boom. I like it.
5-finger death punch. Because the best thing is you don't have to use all 4 horsemen anymore.
Right.
So you've seen that. You've seen 2 go. You've seen 3 go. And that means somebody's always getting rest. And while that hurt Morejon yesterday, it might have hurt Estrada the other day, these guys are going to get used to this new rhythm where they're not pitching every day or 2 out of 4 days all the time. And then you're going to have 5 healthy guys ready to roll in the bullpen when they will pitch every day, pretty much. So, honestly, Ben, I'm excited about the Cortes signing. I think it's a smart play. Sears is a long-term play. I think he's going to fit really well at Petco Park. I don't know about Chase Field. I think he's going to fit really well at Petco Park. But the biggest thing they've done is they've taken the pressure off of those guys to pitch every day.
I honestly, with David Morgan and Wandy Peralta pitching so well, I'm going with 7 deadly arms, and then Yuki Matsui at this point is the new nickname for the bullpen.
The Magnificent 7. Hey, Yuki, I'm over here. Hey, I'm Yuki. Yeah,
I like the fist. I'm going to roll with the fist. Just the fist.
I saw a T-shirt going around that said the bull pentagram.
Oh, that's a new one. I have not heard that one before.
The bull pentagram. It's very weird to bring the satanic panic back.
No, let's not do that.
I like the fist. Yeah, fist like Ben's. One of our favorite drops is fister. Absolutely, yeah,
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, every single time you're gonna get fisted.
Got our mug and everything.
Yes, we do. We do. Craig, you're a legend, man. Thanks for popping on with us this morning. And I know you'll be watching and rooting along. This is the fun part, right? 50 games left in the regular season. Let's get through it healthily, if that's a word.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I love this time of year when you're on a winning team and a good team, because honestly, for all of us, a little bit of the analysis goes out the window now. You know what I mean? Like, we can talk about a bunt or a lineup configuration or some strategy along the way, but now it's just, this is our team. And I can't wait for game day every day now. It's like I can't wait for first pitch, because it's just so much fun right now. Let's go, boys.
I also saw your Crossing Streams co-host Media Melanie get quoted in an awful announcing piece about the Junior Don and Mud that made their appearance yesterday during the broadcast. So I did see that.
Outstanding. Yeah, new Crossing Streams coming out later this week. New Chromaniacs, and of course, brand new Padres Hot Tub available this morning, talking about the weekend that was.
I like how busy you are. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, guys. See you
Craig
next
Elston
week.
every Monday here at 7:35. What did you think of Junior Don and Mud? Did you get to see that yesterday, Woods, while you were watching on your phone?
I missed it. I saw pictures of it. I know one of their dads.
Oh, you do?
Well, yeah, Stevie. I know Stevie, and that was his son. I think that played mud, if I'm not mistaken. So
with the bald cap and the
bald cap
the
on,
light blue jacket.
Yeah, dude, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. I just saw the little clip, and then I didn't get to see it at the very, very beginning.
They did both the starting lineup right at the beginning of the game, and then they had the disclaimer read that Don usually does with the paper snap of confidence, and they did that together later in the game. But they both looked pretty awesome. That was their Halloween costume, apparently, a couple of years ago. They went as Don and Mud and reprised that role. So
Kids Day is elite. It's so good.
We will come back. Hour number 3 will include our Lynn Sider, Dennis Lynn, a game of Take on Woods with a brand new getaway. Really cool Las Vegas getaway up for grabs. We'll qualify, hopefully, someone starting today. All coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a victory Monday. Ben and Woods, 97-3. The Fan of Series victory Monday, as it were. Very excited about that. We don't complain when we win series. Let's go win another one against the D-backs. Starts tonight. I'm Woodsy. Yes, I am still on location in Hawaii. No, I have not moved here permanently yet, but I will be here. I'm going to be on the show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday is a travel day, so I'll be heading back to San Diego, and then I'll be live back in studio on Friday. Certainly miss you fellas. I'll be coming home with some gifts, just showering you both with macadamia nuts, all kinds of macadamia nuts.
I told you
well,
that.
You're going to learn to like them because that's what they have here. It's everything has macadamia nuts in it and on it and about it. So you will be showered, and I'm going to sprinkle them behind you when you walk, and they'll make that crunchy, creaky sound that they make when you bite into them. That when you bite into
one of the reasons I don't
nut.
really like them that much.
Yeah, it's the weird. They have
How do
the
you feel about
weirdest
macadamia
texture.
nut cookies, like white chocolate?
Yeah, no, I try
macadamia
to avoid those. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
All right. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He is the executive producer of the program, and Benjamin R. Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports
And
anchor.
that means you'll be back on Friday for our manager's report with Mike Shildt at 9 a.m. here on Ben and Woods. Manager's report, I remind you, is refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. You'll be back to your Eco Water as well. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Just thought I'd wedge that in there for you, Woods.
Yeah, slam it in there, which is fine. I'm glad that you did that. Somebody had said earlier, man, Woodsy, you're wearing that Oasis shirt out. Well, and I'll tell you why. I told you maybe last week I didn't pack very well on this trip, mostly because I had my wife lording over everything I was packing. I packed at the last minute because I didn't have a suitcase. Remember, it was coming back from my other trip to England, so I really only had a few hours to get it unpacked, all the stuff washed, and repacked. So I packed one long sleeve shirt. Now, it's freezing in this room. There are two temperatures here: devastatingly draining, humid, hot, or freezing cold in a room with air conditioning. And that's what I'm in currently. So it's my only long sleeve shirt that I have. I only packed one pair of jogger pants, which I wear I've worn the exact same outfit every show we've done because I've been frozen solid in here. So I did. She was really making fun of me on Twitter because I brought 3 button-down shirts, in case we went out for a nice dinner or whatever. And we've gone out to some really nice dinners. I only have one swimsuit that I can wear that has pockets in it. So I've worn that every single day. The other one just has that little pocket down the side that doesn't hold anything. So I've got actual pockets and everything like that.
Do you wash it, or do you just let it dry and get kind of crusty and then put it back on again the next day?
It's it's in the water. I rinse in the outdoor shower, and then I take it off and put it, up on the ledge to dry or throw it in the dryer. But my wife was, I told her, I said, she goes, you don't wear short sleeve button down shirts at home ever. I go, yeah, you're right. But when I go to Hawaii, I do it a little differently. And I tested out a new look, and I sent it to you fellas. Now, I didn't put it on Twitter because Twitter is where I get the majority of grief in my life. I'm called, a guy told me join a gym fatty the other day. I mean, I just get roasted on Twitter. So I kept it off of Twitter. I did put it on Instagram. And with the caption, I told Mama I was going to let it eat this trip. And I did. I let it eat. Paul, look at that. That's the new. What do you guys think about that look from your old pal?
That is,
can't see it.
That is something.
I feel
What do
like
you think?
it's like a leopard print Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah,
with,
it's a leopard print.
Are
Like
those
silk.
the sunglasses I gave you? They look good.
No, they are.
Oh, those
those
are
are
ones? All right.
those. No, those are the ones Hannah got me.
Okay. Well, they look good, though. I don't know. It feels like something like Tony Soprano would wear on a Hawaiian vacation.
I thought so too. I got a lot of drug dealer. I got a lot of old man trying to look young vibes. But porn. I did get some of that as well. So Purple asks, why do I look so greasy? Well, you got to lotion up. You have to lubricate. You got to lubricate the skin after a long day out in the sun. Miami strip club manager. There's definitely that vibe. I've never worn leopard print before, and I will say, my wife bought me that one. Okay, she bought me that one, and I wanted to wear it out for her and show her. Yes, I'm not embarrassed to wear this. Once I wore it out to the restaurant, I did get looks that I didn't particularly like. To be honest, I did have people kind of side-eyeing me like, look at this try hard, right? And so I did feel, I don't know that I'll.
Well, did you put a gold chain on? Because that probably would have been too try hard look.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Nate in the chat with the comment of the morning. He says, you look like Ronnie Mund.
Ronnie Mund,
which is
from the Stern Show.
Yeah, kind of a deep cut if you don't know, but if you do know, then you know. And I can absolutely see it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a little
like
conflicted because I don't know how to feel as a producer. There's a part of me that feels like a bit of a proud papa because Ben also put out a selfie last week. Now that's both of you guys putting out your own selfie content. And I'm just like glad that I didn't have to finally do the work for you guys.
What is this, Benjamin?
I just wanted to show off the patio at 7 Mile Casino that I always rave about. And there it is. The view, you can see the bay and Coronado in the background. It's just it's a great patio, and I thought, well, I'll just include myself in the shot as well.
What is wrong with us?
We're two very different people.
50-year-old men in here.
Who did it better?
Selfies. I can't. We are idiots, both of us, right? Both idiots.
We both make the mistake of looking at ourselves and not the actual lens of the camera when taking the selfie, which I can never get over the whole thing. Like, don't look at yourself, look at the lens of the camera when you're taking a selfie, and I never seem to get that right.
Yeah, it's boomer mistake number one.
What is with your smile?
I'm very happy. I'm at 7 Mile Casino. Why wouldn't I be extremely happy? What's with your almost scowly frown? You're on vacation in Hawaii. You should be as happy as I am.
I'm trying to look like a hard ass. And your look, I don't even know what your look is. Like, you look like you just walked in and saw something.
Tyler
you weren't
says,
supposed to see.
Tyler in the chat says, two brothers whose lives went down very different paths.
It's so good, man.
Ben's over here like, hey, look at this patio. And we're just like, okay, here's what we're going to do.
Okay. It is. These are the worst selfies ever, dude. Yeah, Ben, you have the school picture day pose.
Yep.
For sure. The guy you end up taking home versus the guy you should take home, says KG. Yeah, that's exactly right. Caitlin says, I look like I'm going to rob you. Yeah, for sure. Listen, somebody also said, and I agree with this, when you go on vacation, it's okay to let yourself be outside of your comfort zone, right? I do agree with that. I feel like when you go on vacation, like I called it, I told my wife, I'm going to let it eat a little bit on this trip. And she said, okay, let it eat, babe. We'll see how that goes. And it worked out well for me last night, if you know what I mean. So I think you got to let it eat on vacation. Do go a little bit outside of your comfort zone. And I definitely did. I shan't be wearing the leopard print back in San Diego. That I promise you.
I'm glad you let it eat a little bit on a trip though. That's the way to go.
You have to. I think so. I agree with you 100%.
All right. Before we get to the rest of this hour, I did want to bring up quickly back to baseball for a second, where the Padres now stand. They did not gain any ground on the Dodgers. Both teams won 2 out of 3 this weekend. Dodgers beat the Rays yesterday 3-0 behind 5 2/3 shutout innings from Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So Padres are still 3 back in the NL West race. They did gain a ground on the Cincinnati Reds, who dropped 2 of 3 to the Braves. So the Padres are now 4 games up in the wild card race for the last playoff spot in the National League, which is obviously important. Getting into the postseason's the biggest thing of all. But they also have gained a little bit of ground on the Mets and the Phillies. And why that's important, Woods, is, yes, the Padres want to beat the Dodgers, win the division, and find a way to capture their first National League West crown since 2006. But that doesn't automatically get you a bye in the first round. You have to be one of the top 2 division winners. Otherwise, you're just playing in a wild card series. So the Padres have to pass the Dodgers, but they also have to pass the Mets and the Phillies and be ahead of the other division winner. Now, you don't have to pass the Brewers or the Cubs. You could be the 2 seed and still get a bye. So if we're really looking ahead and seeing what the Padres' aim is, and that is a bye in the first round of the playoffs, yeah, you got you got to pass the Dodgers, but you also need to finish ahead of one of the other two division champions. And being now within a game of both the Mets and the Phillies, who are essentially tied for the NL East lead, and the other one is the 2 seed in the wild card, gives you a better chance of doing that at the end of the season if you do catch the Dodgers.
I mean, look, dude, I was scoreboard watching back in April and May. I really was. And this is where it gets to be crippling, actually, when you start every day just pouring over and almost obsessing about, what those other teams are doing. I like doing it. Like I said, I've been doing it for 5 months now. I'm not going to stop now, but yeah, it's a good point you make, man. These are all huge. Got to win these games against teams like the Diamondbacks, Benny. And, the Red Sox coming in after that, can't really look too far ahead. They're a good team as well, but man, these are the games that can help you. And, Dodgers are going to be taking on the Cardinals. I don't know who the Mets and Phillies are playing. But yeah, man, this is huge.
Phillies are home to Baltimore. Mets are home to Cleveland. So they got some interleague action. And as you said, the Cardinals are going to Los Angeles to take on the Dodgers. I joked in the 9th inning yesterday, and of course, Dodgers fans on Twitter took it seriously, that the Padres were playing 4D chess by trying to get the Cardinals a little bit hot before they headed up to Los Angeles, and that's why they gave up. Adrian Morejon gave up those runs. Obviously, that was a joke, but they would like to see the Cardinals see if they can take a game or two from the Dodgers this week when they go and start tonight, actually, with Miles Michaelis against Emmett Sheehan. So, there will be a lot of scoreboard watching going on the rest of the season now, Woods, and it's okay. 50 games left. This is the time of the year where you're actually allowed to do it and talk about the implications of all these games.
You're fighting allowed. Go ahead.
You're allowed to do it with 150 games to go, which is exactly what I did.
Yes, it is a little silly back then, but now you know exactly. You're cheering against the Reds. They are in Chicago to face the Cubs, so they've got a tough series on the road. You could really put some distance between yourself and all the wild card contenders this week if you have a good week and the Reds struggle. So, that is definitely lots of scoreboard watching time going on.
I know it's still early. It's, August 4th. There's a lot of baseball still to be played. But when you look at FanGraphs and they do their analytical projections, they've pretty much determined the 6 playoff teams in the National League are already set. The Padres have the lowest chances still in the 6th seed, but they're at 89.9% chance of likelihood to make the playoffs.
That's crazy. A week ago, they were under or right at 50%.
Yeah.
And just 1 week later, going 7-1 and making the acquisitions they did.
I mean, they've got the Phillies,
jumped to 90%.
Phillies at 97, Mets at 93.6, Brewers at 98.1, Cubs at 97.6, and then the Dodgers and the Padres. And it's really like the next closest team would be the Reds at 9.8%.
Did you get this one wrong here? Somebody said in the chat tonight is actually Gray against Glass now. Is that right?
Did they mix it up? You're right. It is Gray against Glass now. And the second game is Michaelis Sheehan. I was looking at Tuesday's matchup. So
gotcha. Today is Monday, unfortunately. And
you're right. I was looking at Tuesday. Good call.
Should be a good one.
Dodgers did get, Blake Snell was back. He actually lost over the weekend, but they are getting healthier. Glass now, Snell, Yamamoto, in their starting rotation is definitely better than they were standing a couple of weeks ago. So, they're not going to be easy to catch by any stretch of the imagination. Can this Padres team now restructured post deadline compete with the Dodgers? Sure.
Yes.
Are they going to just roll over and die? Absolutely not. Making up 3 games in 50, is possible, but you need to play pretty good baseball. I mean, I would imagine the Padres need to win at least 33, basically 2 out of every 33 and 17, 2 out of 3 games to have a really good shot at passing the Dodgers. So they did it against the Cardinals. They took 2 out of 3. Got to keep doing that as you go forward. And of course, the games against the Dodgers, which are coming up here in a couple of weeks, are going to be absolutely critical.
That's how you do it right there. I mean, it's right there in your hands in front of you. Yeah, you need some help down the road, but you have that opportunity. 6 games left against those guys. So you make some noise there for sure. And there's no reason why you couldn't go out and try to win the division.
Quickly, a couple of other highlights from yesterday. The Brewers remain red hot. They scored 38 runs over the weekend. Yes, they were just taking on the Nationals, but they continue to roll with a 3-game sweep as they are still in the lead over the Cubs in the NL Central. Cubs got a walk-off from Justin Turner. That was his first ever walk-off home run of his career. 40-year-old Justin Turner to beat the Orioles 5-3. And in the National League, that was about it. Diamondbacks did win their second in a row, before facing the Padres here, although they had lost 6 in a row prior to that. And, Sunday Night Baseball, nice scene for the Phillies as they got to 8 strong innings from Christopher Sanchez, who's really been terrific all season long. He shut down the Padres a couple of times. And then Johan Duran got his first save to combine on the shutout for the Phillies with their 2-0 win over the Tigers last night.
I thought he got one Friday.
Didn't he get a second save already?
Yeah, second save. Yeah, he's pretty nasty, dude. That's an elite pickup for them.
The only bad news for the Brewers was they put Miz on the injured list with he got a contusion with a line drive off of his tibia, so he'll be out probably a couple of weeks here, which doesn't seem like the Brewers have slowed down at all though, as they continue to play well.
And again, for them, a kid that they were wanting to monitor his innings, good way to do it. Good way to do
That's
it.
True.
This is not ideal, but it's, they didn't have to run him out there yesterday, much to my fantasy team's chagrin. But they can now, take a few innings off of his arm and have them for the stretch run.
All right, because Woods is here, we will play Take on Woods, and we got a spectacular new prize here for August, including a stay at Resorts World Las Vegas. I'll tell you all about it when we come back, but we do need a contestant to play our musical trivia challenge. 833-288-0973. Call during the break. Get online. We'll pick someone, and we'll play head-to-head against Woods for a chance to qualify for our grand prize drawing coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
First, gang, let me tell you quickly about QC Kinetics. I will be on the phone with them probably this afternoon or tomorrow booking an appointment because jammed my wrist, one of the wrists that they had done some incredible work on that has lasted me forever. I jammed it playing baseball, sliding in the second base, and it's not healing the way that I wanted it to. I know exactly what I need to do. It's the exact same symptoms I had before. I jammed it. I'm going to need to go to QC Kinetics. It feels so good knowing there's going to be relief there because it's worked for me before. If you woke up this morning with pain in any of your joints, make that call today to QC Kinetics. Got a couple of locations for you, Hillcrest and Torrey Hills. Their number is 619-614-PAIN. Okay, you can bring your x-rays, MRIs to QC Kinetics. They'll give you a free, no-pressure chat and thorough evaluation to see if you're a good candidate for what they do, which is repairing damaged joint tissue with natural cellular therapies, no scalpels, no pills, just long-term relief with no dreaded recovery. So call them today, 619-614-PAIN. Schedule that free consultation with the medical pros at QC Kinetics. Thousands of patients like me that will tell you they wish they would have done it sooner. So do yourself a favor today. If you want to get back on the bike, on the golf course, on the baseball field, call QC Kinetics today at 619-614-PAIN. Let them know Woodsy from 97.3 The Fan, Ben and Woods sent you.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Homesick Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Homesick Casino Resort, the players' place.
Got our insider Dennis Lynn talking Padres here at the bottom of the hour. Let me tell you about the prize that we've got this month. Brand new prize for Take on Woods, and it's a good one. Maybe one of the best we've ever offered. It is another 2-night stay in Vegas, this time Resorts World Las Vegas, which is terrific. 2 VIP expedited admission passes to IU Day Club and a $175 food and beverage credit. Now, let me give you some of the details here. Celebrate summer with a 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas. Dine poolside at one of their 5 unique pool experiences in a 5.5-acre pool complex, the largest elevated pool deck on the Las Vegas Strip, and experience IU Day Club, a stunning oasis inspired by the idyllic islands of Southeast Asia, where the ultimate party concepts Woods transforms the weekend into a never-ending summer. Special summer rates available now at rwlasvegas.com, now offering no resort fees and complimentary parking.
Not bad.
That's the prize this month.
Feels like I could wear my shirt there.
You could.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. That shirt would definitely play there.
In fact,
All
you
right,
probably
that would
would
play there.
like, it's required that you wear a shirt like that there. So let's try and see if we can qualify someone and play today's game of Take on Woods. Take on Woods brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. And we've got Guy in Bay Park. Guy, good morning. A regular here on Take on Woods. Chance to qualify early this month. How are you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Aloha, Woodsy.
Oh, he's already gone.
He's gone.
He is already gone.
He's already
So let's
gone.
get to the
Okay.
game.
All right,
Let's get to the game here. You can talk to him at the end. Here are your categories. We've got Not on Any Map, 5 song titles with fictional place names in them. The Eyes Have It, 5 bands that begin with the letter I. And our new category is Wish List, 5 song titles that begin with I Want. So Not on Any Map, The Eyes Have It, or Wish List. Guy, what would you like to play?
Let's go with the first one. Not on any.
Not on Any Map. Okay, again, this is 5 song titles with fictional places in the name. So you won't find these on any map. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many of the 5 as you can. If you don't know an answer, say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question's the 2-second song, Paulie will play you that clip. You need to give me the title with the fictional place and the artist to score the point. Guy, are you ready to play?
I am ready.
All right, let's put 60 seconds on the clock, Paulie. Guy, your
Ready.
time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
Margaritaville, Jimmy Buffett.
Correct. The grass is green and the girls are pretty, in which 1989 hit for Guns N' Roses.
Paradise City.
Correct. The Beach Boys had gone 22 years without a number one hit before returning to the top with which 1988 song?
Kokomo.
Correct. In 1980, Lips Inc. topped the charts for 4 weeks with a song about what groovin' spot?
Funky Town.
Correct. In 1973, Three Dog Night sang about which mythical kingdom supposedly located in the Himalaya Mountains?
Three Dog Night.
A little bit of time.
About 10 seconds.
Three Dog Night. I mean, Round the Bend? I don't know.
No, it's Shambhala, but that was the tough one. You did get 4. You got Margaritaville, Paradise City, Kokomo, and Funky Town. Will that be enough to hold up? Hang on the line, Guy. Let's text Woods and get him to put his headset back on. There he is. All right, Guy's score is locked in. You get the same 5 questions. No benefit of the category. I don't know. This one could be tricky. Let's put 60 seconds back on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Guy.
It's Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett.
Correct. The grass is green and the girls are pretty, in which 1989
Paradise City.
Correct. The Beach Boys had gone 22 years without a number one hit before returning the top with which 1988 song?
Kokomo.
Correct. In 1980, Lips Inc. topped the charts for 4 weeks with a song about what groovin' spot?
Pass.
In 1973, Three Dog Night sang about which mythical kingdom supposedly located in the Himalaya Mountains?
What? Son of a... I don't know. The Lost Taint.
Incorrect. You want to go back to Lips Inc. 1980 topped the charts for 4 weeks with a song about what groovin' spot?
The Isle of Taint.
That's a 3, and that is not enough as Guy wins at 4-3. Those were all not on any map. Fictional places. Lips Inc. would be Funky Town. And Three Dog Night was Shambhala, which is the toughest one.
What was the category?
Not on any map. Fictional places that you won't find on any map. Margaritaville, Paradise City, Kokomo, Funky Town, and Shambhala.
It's down in flames there. Sorry about that.
That's all right. We got a qualifier already for a great prize. Congratulations, Guy. Paul, you'll put your name into the hopper for the drawing at the end of the month. This would be a really fun one to win, to be sure. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Staples, calling all parents and teachers. At Staples, your back-to-school budget is officially saved by the button, the easy button, with supplies as low as 25 cents plus laptops up to 40% off and more deals on top brands and trending styles. Find it all at Staples. That was easy. All right, we'll get some insider info from Dennis Lynn, including how Joe Musgrove's bullpen session went over the weekend. Talk more about Michael King's rehab and more. That is coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
Well, now you've seen the picture of how happy I was at 7 Mile Casino last week, so you know it's true. I was like Goofy. I was so happy being at 7 Mile Casino and enjoying their patio at Sammy's.
I don't know that I've seen anyone happier with a bigger grin on their face, like he's off to school on his first day. No, it's a great place to go sit down, play some California-style blackjack, some Texas Hold'em, Pie Gower, Baccarat. They got great food, smoke-free environment as well. Hence the big smile on Benny's face.
And you know how long it took me to get there? Just about 7 minutes, because you don't have to drive deep into the East County to find any of those other card rooms and then drive all the way back. No big parking garages, 100 heat to deal with.
What?
100-degree heat to deal with when you're walking to and from your car. It is simply right there, west side of the 5, Bay Boulevard in Chula Vista. So easy to get to. Check it out this week at 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
I don't know how to feel about this, Woods, but I cannot flip on my television or scroll through my social media feeds right now without someone extolling the virtues of the San Diego Padres, whether it was A-Rod on national TV over the weekend or ESPN or JP Morosi on MLB Network or this morning Jim Bowden or Ken Rosenthal with The Athletic. Everyone is saying good things about the Padres, and honestly, makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, you've gotten quite superstitious, as evidenced by Friday's Open. It's weird because you are the very logical one, and now you're getting all nervous and in your feelings about it. And listen, man, you got to win ball games, as you know, one at a time. Can only control what you can control.
I think it's more that I feel like the Padres are getting a target painted on their back by everybody, that's a real thing. I do believe they have a roster that's capable, as everyone is saying, a roster capable of winning the World Series. But honestly, Paulie went through the other 5 teams that are expected to make the playoffs. I think they all have rosters that can win the World Series. I mean, the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Brewers, the Mets, and the Phillies.
Yeah.
They all feel like I'm not going to be shocked at this point if any one of them gets to and wins the World Series out of the National League. I'm just not.
Agreed. I agree with you 100%. Everyone's pretty deep, man. That's why they are in the position they're in.
All right, we'll get an update from Dennis Lynn from The Athletic. Our Lynn Sider will join us right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
What an absolute mess on the 5 northbound right at the poster station. You've got a flipped over car. A couple lanes are down. Delays go all the way back to Harbor Drive, exit 54C. And then it's no picnic on the 125 northbound at the 8. Another crash. 2 right lanes are blocked. There's also a motorcycle accident southbound on 15 at Rainbow Valley Boulevard, exit 54. I'm Sue Aller with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Happy Monday, Padres fans. It's time to discuss the weekend that was for the Padres with our Ben and Woods Lynn Sider, Dennis Lynn from The Athletic. Brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks, it gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
So what I appreciate about Dennis is he brings a very level-headed perspective. He's not He's not negative. He's not positive. I feel like he's a very honest, realistic observer of the Padres, as a good reporter for The Athletic should be. And he joins us right now on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning, Ben.
All
I
right.
will take that as a compliment.
It is a
Thank
compliment.
you.
It is a compliment. Now, from that level-headed perspective, what, if anything, did you learn about the Padres, the new look Padres, after watching them the last 3 games against the St. Louis Cardinals?
That's well, first of all, let me preface that the Cardinals are not very good, as we all know, especially after the deadline. But I think this is a team in the Padres that has even fewer holes than last year. Now, a lot of that's going to depend on what Fernando Tatis is come October, what Jackson Merrill is, and whether they can kind of reattain the heights that they reached, last season and last October. But I think if you look at the lineup, if you look at the bullpen, outside of maybe not having a real long reliever, I guess that's maybe a minor concern. But I think they're a team that, like you said, Ben, they can definitely compete for a World Series, and maybe they might be slightly better than they were last year.
Talking to our pal Dennis Lynn from The Athletic, and we haven't talked to you since the trade deadline went down. It was certainly a interesting day on the airwaves, and you got to see the pieces this weekend, Dennis. But Mason Miller obviously is a guy, after watching him come in the other night. Yeah, Leo DeVries is going to hurt, but I kind of I'm forgetting about him a little bit more every day when you think about Mason Miller and what he brings to the table. And, you talked in your latest piece about the potential of him converting into a starter. I've heard, both sides as to why. Do you get the sense the Padres are okay if he doesn't convert to a starter next year and he just becomes their closer?
Yeah, I think so, Woodsy. Robert Suarez going to be a free agent, most likely, probably going to walk. Jason Adam and Adrian Morahone are going to be in their final year before free agency next year. So, yeah, there's going to be questions in the bullpen. And obviously a guy who throws 103, even if it's just for an inning, that's really exciting. We've already seen it. And I think with the injury history he has, that's a little bit scary because, the last time he started, he sprained his UCL. So there's probably, just as there is for every single pitcher in the majors almost, there's probably some, lingering damage in there that he's pitching through. Again, a lot of these guys have like little micro tears in their elbows. It's just not natural to throw 100 miles an hour over and over, which he does more often than anyone in MLB. But yeah, I think they're open to going any direction with him in the future. But I think for most likely next season, I would guess he's going to be the closer.
Dennis, you mentioned Fernando. Where is he right now? I watch Fernando's at bats and I see a lot of good things. Not chasing, he's drawing his walks. Mike Shildt will, sing his praises almost every post-game news conference about how he impacted the game, the hustle double yesterday. But at the same time, I just feel like there's still that element missing, that, the monster home runs, the stuff that we've seen him do in the past in terms of slug and extra base hit. Where do you kind of evaluate where Fernando Tatis Jr. stands at the moment?
Well, I feel like I'm still waiting, and we're all still waiting for him to pull a home run. It feels like it's been a while. So that's something that seems like the biggest, maybe not the biggest, but one of the biggest missing ingredients in this game right now. And we all remember 2021. Obviously, that was pre-surgeries and pre-suspension, and he was just, the best slugger in the NL. And that really, elevated that offense, even if that was one of the most disappointing seasons in Padres history. But you don't necessarily need that with how deep the lineup is right now. But yeah, it just feels like he's kind of still in between on some of these swings, and maybe he's been psyched out a little bit by how often he gets pitched inside. And I think you're still seeing a lot of ground balls to the pole side, but not so much in the air. So if he can somehow, refine the version of himself that we saw, late last season when he wasn't even 100%, that would be a huge boost for the Padres. But it just seems like, for right now, you kind of can't expect, that 40 home run version to just show up anytime. And that kind of puts more of an onus on Xander Bogaerts to keep doing what he's been doing the past month, and Luis Ariz to keep hitting like he has been the last couple of weeks, and Manny Machado to keep carrying the team. But again, they have more depth now, so maybe it's not as big of a problem, but it is a key thing I think we should all be watching if you're a Padres fan or someone interested in the Padres going down the stretch.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Talking to Dennis Len here on Ben and Woods this morning. The depth, I do feel, potentially takes some pressure off. But, you're not going to win a World Series without, the guys at the top doing what they need to do, setting the table. You were able to see it yesterday. The bottom of the order really came through. Jake Cronenworth in the 8 is certainly a beautiful thing when he's hitting the ball out of the ballpark. They're a deep lineup. There's just no question about it. But those guys at the top, they got to pull their weight. They know that. Everybody knows that. The starting rotation, Dennis, is one that we were talking earlier in the show about the magic that we had last year, late inning walk-offs, this and that. And I contend that we got a lot of magic out of our starters this year so far to this point. And I do think this is a great time, potentially getting Michael King back with what you did last time. This is where, in my opinion, the starting rotation needs to step up and kind of set the tone a little bit for this run, the last 50 games.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at the low end of the bullpen, which is pretty good now. David Morgan, he is your mop-up guy or one of your mop-up guys, and he has a sub-2 ERA. Again, they don't have a lot of length in the bullpen per se, just from any of these individual guys. So yeah, they're going to need these guys to in the rotations go, 6-7 innings more than occasionally, just to kind of save all those guys from having to work too much before October. But yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what JP Sears does tonight, what Nestor Cortez does on I believe Wednesday, and what Yu Darvish can continue to provide, because even though that was a really, really encouraging start from Darvish last time out, just his stuff doesn't seem quite as sharp as it was, the last couple of years. But if he can stay on the mound and provide 7 innings on fewer than 80 pitches or whatever it was, that is something that is the kind of efficiency the Padres will need and will kind of rely on going down the stretch of the season again.
Dennis, we talked earlier about Michael King's rough rehab start for El Paso yesterday, but he got his pitches in, and we'll see how he feels today. What about Joe Musgrove's bullpen session over the weekend? What did you hear about that?
Yeah, all positive signs. I mean, he's seemingly on track to somehow come back around the 1-year mark, potentially in the bullpen in the playoffs, assuming the Padres get there. I still think that's, more of an aspirational thing. When you have maybe the best bullpen in the game, maybe the best bullpen in years in MLB, as good as it was last year for the Padres, I don't know that they necessarily will need Joe Musgrove to go out there and risk it all for an inning in the playoffs, but that's just the kind of guy he is, right? He wants to work towards something, give himself some motivation. He clearly wants to be part of this, a year where the Padres can, potentially win it all. And who knows about next year when you're going to have all these free agents walking. So I think that's classic Joe, and maybe a good thing to strive for, whether it's truly realistic or not. But all signs are he's on track in his rehab, probably a little bit of a schedule, and that's a good sign at least for next year.
Dennis, do you get the sense that we'll see Randy Vasquez again this year?
I don't. There's always obviously the unfortunate possibility of injuries, and maybe Randy has to come back up. But just with the way he is as a starter, obviously we all see the huge disparity between his expected numbers and his real numbers. And it seems like I finally caught up to him this past start. And just, not going deep in games. That's something they're going to need from their starters. I think, maybe it's kind of run its course this season. But, I mean, to Randy's credit, I think they went 14-8 in his 22 starts this season. So he more than did his job. You could argue Dylan Cease, although the underlying numbers are a lot better, he hasn't done his job quite as well as Randy has, given what Randy has to work with. He's clearly made the most out of his abilities this year, so I think he deserves huge kudos for that. But yeah, to your original question, I think we might have seen the last of him for a while.
You mentioned injuries, which are always a possibility, but when and if Michael King does come back, the Padres will be facing a 26-man roster crunch. We already saw it, having to send Randy Vasquez down. They're kind of out of optionable players, aren't they, on the pitching side? If they bring back Michael King, they might have to DFA someone. Am I mistaken about that? Like Yuki Matsui and Wandy Peralta can't be sent down to the minors, as far as I understand. What's your understanding of it?
I probably shouldn't say don't quote me when I'm on the radio, but I think JP Sears has options.
Okay,
I want to say. So yeah, okay. Thanks, Woodsy. So that would probably be the place. And I mean, Nestor Cortez, even though he's a veteran guy who was actually pretty good last season based on the numbers. I know most of this season has been hurt, but yeah, I wouldn't think Sears would be ahead of him in pecking order just yet. But yeah, we'll have to see how these two guys how they debut with the Padres and what they look like in the majors. So yeah, I think there is room there for Michael to come back, and there's a obvious path. But yeah, we'll have to see how this series in Arizona goes first, and how Michael recovers today first of all, too.
It's obviously a good problem to have. Pitching depth is absolutely essential late in the season and going to the playoffs. So we'll see how they play it out. Dennis, really good visit today. Appreciate your time. Have a good week. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks.
There's our Dennis, our Linsider. Thanks to Jamul Casino each week for sponsoring Dennis's visit. Really, really good information there. And he said that Randy Vasquez probably won't be back. I still think he would be a better long man in the bullpen than like a Yuki Matsui. I'm not saying that Yuki needs to find a way to the injured list somewhere at the end of the year, but I'd rather see, if you ever needed to go to a guy for 2 or 3 innings because a starter didn't make it out of the third, I'd rather see Randy Vasquez coming in a situation like that at this point.
The mop-up duty.
Yeah, I would think he stretched out enough that he could do that and might serve that role. The question is, how do you get him back on the roster when you're very limited? And I didn't know that about Sears, so props to you, Woods, for having that, the JP Sears. But, they also may need him to start every 5th day going forward for a while, and we'll see how he does compared to Nestor Cortez in this series against the Diamondbacks, as well as to which pitcher you want to see getting more innings down the stretch.
Bro, just manipulate the IL like
that's what
every
I'm
other
thinking
team.
too. Yeah.
I mean, that's what the Dodgers do to perfection every single year. And I mean, honestly, like nobody does it better than those guys. And, it's an issue. People know about it. People are pissy about it. But what are they going to do? What are they going to fine them? All right, fine us. Go ahead. Like, just manipulate the IL like every other team does, especially them.
I mean, every
it's kind of the only route they have to take, right?
It's literally
every
the only
pitcher
route.
has something that's bothering them at this point in the season. So it's not even really manipulation. Like last year, Stephen Kolek conveniently, hit the IL as soon as he was on the roster long enough to qualify for his Rule 5 season. I'm sure something was bothering him, but how much so would it have required an IL stint? Maybe not, but yeah, you can start doing that as you get to August and September with your roster and being a little more creative with your injured list.
Yeah, tight hamstring, pulled quad, whatever it may be. That's what you need to do. You got Brian Hoeing down there still.
I forgot about Brian Hoeing.
Yeah, you got Brian Hoeing down there. You got Sean Reynolds down there as well. There's some options that they have down below. So yeah, you never know what's going to happen, but they do have some options.
All right, final hour. Look ahead to this series. We've got tickets to give away for the weekend on Friday, Padres, Red Sox, and headlines in a rival report as well. Don't go anywhere. Bennett Woods rolling on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Padres Diamondbacks tonight, 6:40 first pitch here on 97.3 The Fan. What?
Are you looking at our YouTube stream?
Oh, look at Woods. He's changed.
He's wearing the shirt.
He's gone leopard print on us.
Well, the sun's coming up, so I got to get ready for my Hawaiian day. Another Hawaiian day. My God, I've been here forever. This point. Yeah, there it is.
And I don't know if
Same thing.
Yeah, you've got the same shirt on. You look good. Just no sunglasses this morning.
But
I don't know if anybody's heard the news, but Jesse Agler will not be calling the games this series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm not sure if he's moving to TV or he's just off, but our Sam Levitt was on the plane with the Padres last night and will be calling a little play-by-play this week for the San Diego Padres today, tomorrow, and Wednesday from Chase Field in Arizona. So best wishes to Sammy. He's gotten to do this once or twice before, but obviously it's his big dream, and he's getting a chance to live it again this week.
I was thinking about it last night when I saw that Adam said, I knew this was coming up, but I just kind of forgot over the weekend. And then Adam was like, hey, just a reminder, Sammy's going to be out in Arizona. And I'm going, all right, Sammy got to do this last year for a game, maybe a series.
Yeah.
And I remember we talked to him. He made his MLB debut, and it was at Petco Park. What better place, right? But they're on the road, and I go, man, did Sammy get to get on the team plane for that short little 45-minute flight? But still, to get on the team plane, he gets the team accommodations, I'm assuming, right? Like Adam didn't send him on Southwest, and he's staying at the Doo-Doo Motel, right?
I think he's got the official team hotel, and he's got a room there. And I mean, how nerve-wracking would it be to fly on the team plane with the team?
I wouldn't say a word.
I know.
would not say one single solitary word. I would not try to get in any of Manny's card games. I don't have the scratch for it. I would just sit quietly, and I would not say one single word.
I mean, like last year we talked with Sammy, having made your debut is always that's the number one, right? But like that was at Petco Park, which he knows very well, and it was game number one. But now I'm thinking this might be I kind of like this is I made it. Like you get on the team plane, the team hotel, and all of that. That's cool.
And this is why I'm the worst, because I don't want to lose Sammy ever. I want Sammy to be a part of the team forever, but I know that's not. And, it's like this is, you really feel like you're a fan of the A's or something. You're like, well, I mean, too good to stay here at some point, and now he's going to be out there auditioning for play-by. It's just one of those things. I obviously wish the best for Sammy. I want all his dreams to come true, but selfishly, I want Sammy around.
Of course.
So it's like, but I know he'll kill it.
But he's like a top AAA prospect who's blocked on the major league level.
Blocked. He's blocked.
So it's tough, and he's showcasing himself now for other teams around the league who might be in the market for a play-by-play guy in the future. So I'm sure he's going to be very excited and nervous about this opportunity this week.
So again, we're not sure if we are going to have Jesse on tomorrow, right?
I got to figure out that. I only know the radio side. The TV can shuffle things around. If Don's off, then Jesse can move over. If Mud's off, then Tony moves over from radio. It's just, there's a lot of moving parts, so I'm not exactly sure where that leaves us tomorrow. But I would say at the very least, we'll have a Padres broadcaster on. We can get Bob Scanlon on. If Jesse's doing television, he'll jump on with us, or we can have Sammy. Like, we'll figure something out.
Now, Michelle in the chat says Sammy looked extremely happy getting on that team bus yesterday. I didn't see a picture of it. Did he have his fit, and he was like getting on like the players do as they get on the bus?
I mean, she saw it, so I don't know, man. I would hope. I can see it though in my mind's eye, him grinning from ear to ear. It's hard to be cool, it's hard. It's really hard to be cool when you're down there around those guys. So pretty awesome.
Now this is an interesting game tonight. First, of course, it's the Padres debut.
Adam says Jesse on TV next 3 games.
We should have him then tomorrow.
We will have Jesse, but no incorporator.
So we will have JP Sears making his Padres debut in the game tonight, but who is available behind him is kind of a question mark. Padres did not use Mason Miller, so they certainly have a flamethrower for the back end of their pen, but when you look at the usage of everyone else, I mean, Jason Adam yesterday only threw 12 pitches, so he's probably good. But beyond that, you're kind of going pretty deep down to like Wandy Peralta and Yuki Matsui, because everybody else was used fairly heavily over the weekend, Woods, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'd say Morgan, Estrada, and Suarez are probably toast for game one. Morejon threw 19 pitches yesterday. Yuki Matsui threw 16 on Saturday. Nothing yesterday. Jason Adam threw 12. Mason Miller has only thrown 10 pitches in 4 or 5 days. And then Wandy Peralta has thrown 9. So depending on what you get from JP, I mean, you do kind of look at this right now and go, all right, yeah, good point by Dennis Lin. Who's the long man, out of the bullpen right now? Who's the guy that can give you some length and some girth? He doesn't really exist right now, unless it's a 8-0 lead in one way, or the 8-0 lead or an 8-0 deficit. You just don't know. So going to have to piece this one together again, as Shilt's gotten pretty adept at doing.
And Brandon Pfaadt has had a mediocre season. I think he's 10-8 with a 5 ERA, but pitched well against the Padres last month. 8 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. So he's a guy who's pitched well in the past. Now he's facing a much deeper lineup than he did last month, and the Diamondbacks lineup, meanwhile, is completely different. I was just going through it, and with the subtraction of Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez, I mean, they still have Corbin Carroll, and they still have Geraldo Perdomo.
Ketel Marte.
He's been out lately, I think, but the rest, I mean, the names in it: Blaze Alexander, Connor Kaiser got a start yesterday. Tyler Locklear got a start yesterday. Jose Herrera got a start yesterday. These are the kind of teams after the trade deadline you need to beat up on. Even on the road, you've got to win the series. You got to give yourself a chance to sweep series like this against the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are now going nowhere this year.
And these games are the ones that drive you nuts, right? Because you've got some of those guys, those names that you just mentioned, Benny. And I'll tell you what, man, like, you're talking about guys that are up and they are playing for jobs. They are playing for their life. They are playing for dinner. You know what I mean? And the hungry guys, those are the ones that scare you, man. Honestly, the teams that you run up against, where it's like, no, we're out of it. Still most of the same guys around here. Those are the ones you feel like you can take advantage of. But these are the pesky games. These are the ones that give you fits.
Sure, and it's dangerous because if JP Sears doesn't have a good debut, you don't know exactly how you're going to manage all of those innings. And again, we talked with Dennis about you can't really make a lot of moves because you're a little hamstrung on your 26 and 40-man roster at the moment. So you are counting on JP Sears to have a nice debut and get you at least, at 5-6 innings tonight at the very least, to try to get it to a Wandy, Jason Adam, Mason Miller kind of closing situation for the last 3 innings.
Yeah, no question. No question about it. So Shilt's got his work cut out for him. JP Sears has his cut out for him, and excited to see what he can do. What these additions can do. Would expect O'Hearn in the lineup. Would expect Gavin Sheets somehow to get in the lineup at some point.
Yeah, no
tonight.
Gavin Sheets at all this weekend, and I was a little surprised by that. Not that Mike Shildt wanted to get some of the new guys in, and we knew that Gavin Sheets' playing time was going to go down, but I figured it would be important for Shildt to, put an arm on Gavin's shoulder and, hey, we'll get you a couple at bats here or there. It's not like you're going to disappear, but then he kind of disappeared this weekend and was, I'm sure, standing behind the bench, but never got a chance to actually swing a bat or get into a game this weekend.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Tough part of the manager's gig, certainly. And but tonight, against a right-hander, Brandon Pfaadt, you could stack some lefties in the lineup. Not sure what it looks like exactly. Raone Lauraniano hits right-handers really well. Also, you'd hate to take him out after he's gotten off to a good start. So, yeah, man, gonna be interesting to see what the configuration looks like tonight for Shildt. I don't think you want to get Luis Ariz off his feet and get him out of the lineup yet either, as he's got a 16-game hitting streak. So Shilt's going to have to find a lane, as he likes to say, for Gavin Sheets. Don't know what that looks like, though.
My guess would be Elias Diaz will probably get back and start after 2 straight Freddy Fines over the weekend, although it's not – I guess they'll decide which one fits better with JP Sears. He doesn't have a personal catcher yet. I figured the new guy might as well, you could pair them together in one way, or, you could get Freddy Fine off of his feet for a day and go the other direction. Not sure. The next 2 games looks like it's going to be Yu Darvish tomorrow night, coming off, obviously, his best start of the season against Ryan Nelson, and then it'll be Nestor Cortes making his Padres debut on Wednesday against Anthony DeSclafani, and all 3 games are 6:40, so no day games in this series, all night games for the Padres and the Diamondbacks, and then an off day at home on Thursday before you return home to face the Boston Red Sox on Friday.
And there's a lot of good positive chatter about Fermin in the chat. And I did see some people complaining. He dropped that ball and that relay to home. Okay. I mean, fine. Like everyone's saying how refreshing he is. He makes contact, productive outs, drove in a run, got a couple of knocks. Like it looks different. You can't deny right now, guys, that it does not look different. It looks markedly different with Freddy Fine back there.
Love the analysis from Letters to AJ over the weekend, who did a whole piece on how Freddy Fine is going to sneaky drop a bunt in every once in a while, and it's almost always going to turn into a base hit. And wouldn't you know, yesterday it came true in the first weekend of games for Freddy Fine, where he dropped a sneaky bunt in to lead off an inning and get on base. And if you read the newsletter from Letters to AJ, he went through this whole thing where he's not going to bunt a lot, but when he sees a guy basically playing deep at third base, he'll occasionally put one down the third base line past the pitcher, and like 70 or 80% of the time he's going to get on base when he drops down that bunt. So you could tell he's a very smart, heady ball player as well, who of course has learned under the tutelage of Salvi Perez over the years, and feels like he's got enough speed in his game that's something he likes to add. And it keeps the third baseman honest as well, because then they've got to come in to protect against the bunt, which opens up, hard ground ball singles more to the left side that the third baseman can't get to with less reaction time. So it's kind of a double benefit for Freddy Fine.
What was that quote you gave us earlier, Woodsy, from Fermin?
Oh, yeah, he was talking about Dylan Cease, and I guess the skipper would never put him in the lineup against Cease, and he said basically, no, he's too tough for Freddie. But Freddie wants nothing to do with this guy, and so he finally got a chance to catch him and was like, "Good Lord, now I understand. Now I understand why the skipper was like, hey, I'm gonna give you a day today." Against Dylan Cease, because he said his stuff was just beyond filthy, which I loved.
By the way, the other catcher, Pozo, yesterday, man, that guy put in a lot of work, because the pitchers for the Cardinals were constantly spiking balls in the dirt. And I don't know that I've seen a catcher have to block more pitches constantly through the game than the Pozo did yesterday for the Cardinals. And, I think they mentioned it a couple of times on the TV broadcast, but there could have been like 11 wild pitches in that game. That guy did a really nice job. There was just the one, and it barely got away. And if it wasn't Tatis going from second to third, probably wouldn't have had any wild pitches at all.
Yeah, no question, dude. He was grinding back there, man, grinding. And, back to Fermin, I was as shocked by that trade as I was as the Mason Miller with the Mason Miller.
I think so.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what a light return. And then I'm telling you, those threads started to roll in, and I know I'm easily swayed, but I started reading those threads about Freddy Fine, and I was like, we may have just gotten the biggest steal of the entire trade deadline with this guy. We've got him under control for how long? What, 2 more years after this one?
3 more years.
3 more years after this one, man. 30 years old, and was looking for an opportunity.
4 more years after this
4
one.
more years. Jesus. So we've got our catcher for the foreseeable future.
12 more years?
Yeah,
oh my God. This is amazing.
It was really, really cool to read what he meant to that team. So I'm a Ferminator right now. Book Ferminator today. I'm really, really happy to have him.
He will end up probably being the mentor to Ethan Salas if Ethan Salas does end up coming up, and probably learn at the foot of Freddy Fine, like Freddy Fine learned at the feet of Salvador Perez and the Kansas City Royals organization. I mean, let's be honest, AJ's probably going to trade Ethan Salas next trade deadline because he needs something and he's got nothing left in the minors other than Ethan Salas. But, it's possible at least that he makes it to the big leagues and learns under Freddy Fine at some point.
If you want to acquire Paul Skeens next July, the price might include an Ethan Salas, but we'll see.
All right, let's take a time.
I'm done.
Let's take a time out. When we come back, we do have some tickets to give away for a Friday's next home game, Padres against the Boston Red Sox, a team, by the way, very much in the playoff picture in the American League. So we'll do that when we come back, and then a roundel report as we take you until 10 o'clock this morning with Bennett Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Paulie, what did you say I have?
Eco Water, my friend.
Oh, my beloved Eco Water. I miss my cats a lot, but I miss my Eco Water system in the home. Tough to complain on a Hawaiian vacation. That's the one thing I'm missing is Eco Water. May send some out here for the next trip. But, yeah, we got the Eco Water system in our home, took our hydration to the next level. And really the other thing, too, that you have to think about if you're a homeowner right now, the hard water that's flowing through your pipes is not just tough on your skin and kind of a nightmare to deal with every day. It's wrecking your plumbing, your appliances, your water heater. If you ignore it, you could have to repipe your entire home. That costs up to about $24,000. No thanks, guys. Want the soft water flowing through all your pipes in your house, and that, of course, is Eco Water. They've been keeping it soft since 1925. That is unbelievable. Try the Soft Life now, and alkaline water now, just for $9.95 a month. You can call 760-350-3338, or you can go to ecowatersocal.com. When you do call, have them come out, do a free in-home water test for you. Super simple, takes them about 5 minutes, and they're going to show you, look, this is Eco Water, and this is what you are currently bathing, drinking, giving your pets, giving your children, making their bottles with. I mean, it is a total game changer. Get it done in your home. Again, $9.95 a month, 760-350-3338, or go to ecowatersocal.com. Again, let them know that I sent you, please. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. Keeping it soft since 1925. Eco Water, your water should be perfect.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Quickly, Woods, if you don't mind, I want to talk about two teams I used to cheer for but don't cheer for anymore.
Okay.
First
the
one,
Lakers and the Dodgers.
Lakers and the
Lakers, Chargers. Okay.
I did want to congratulate Antonio Gates for going into the Hall of Fame this weekend. Was always a really good guy when I got a chance to cover him when they were here in San Diego. And pretty impressive. He was the first player ever inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame who didn't play a single down of college football.
Do you know he played basketball?
I do know he played basketball, yes. I mean, think about that, though. That's a pretty amazing story. It's not only that you
incredible, right?
made the NFL without playing college football, you became a Hall of Famer without playing college football, which is pretty stunning. And I did at least want to offer my congratulations to Antonio Gates, who did go in over the weekend along with Jared Allen, Sterling Sharp.
Is that a weird thing to see? I didn't watch any.
I didn't watch.
I saw a couple of pictures or short videos or whatever. I saw him and Dean Spanos, of course, taking off the cover of the bust, and I'm thinking, man, this could have been it could have been so different. It is just like I was wondering what other like lifelong, people that rooted for that team for 50 plus years, and if they're still rooting for them, I think it's weird. But do you? If you're not rooting for them, I'm like, how conflicted were you to watch that? Like that should have been and would have been such a celebration here in San Diego.
We probably would have been there, like broadcasting live this week in Canton, Ohio. To honor San Diego Charger Antonio Gates going into the Hall of Fame. But
I would have been here in Kauai. You guys would have had a great time in Canton. I would not have moved my trip for Antonio Gates going into the Hall of Fame. That I do promise you.
But then the other team that I used to cheer for, the Los Angeles Lakers, no surprise here, but they did sign Luka Doncic to a contract extension. I think it was 3 years, $185 million, which seems like a ton. But honestly, it's designed, I believe, so that when he hits the opt-out year, he can then get up to, I think it's over $80 million a year will be his next deal.
Yeah, it was like $84 million a year.
It's going to be like a record, like $400 million contract when he can do his max deal. And that'll make up for any of the money that he lost when he was traded away from the Dallas Mavericks because he couldn't sign the Supermax deal. And it does seem like they're going to keep LeBron as well, despite all the rumors and LeBron like dropping hints all off season that hey, I'm in Cleveland. Hey, I'm here with this other team all summer long. Rob Pelinka seemed to make it very clear that LeBron's going to be back. So, but Luka is sticking around with the Lakers, and he gave $5 million to like young athletes around the world, and I thought that was a nice gesture that he made going forward.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, there we go. Woodsy with the comment there on the Lakers as well. Just thought,
yeah, it was great.
Kind of wanted to throw that in there while we were.
I know you did. No golf today, huh?
No golf in terms. Cameron, I'll give Cameron Young his props. Finally won a tournament after missing out 7 times. He finished second without winning, and then he finally got his first win very easily. It was no drama at all at the Wyndham Championship yesterday in North Carolina. He was up by 8 most of the round and cruised to his first win. They're now into the FedEx Cup playoffs starting next with the 3-week playoffs and top 70, top 50, then top 30 on the PGA Tour going forward. But it definitely it's the one playoff that does not have the same luster as any other playoffs because you feel like the season's kind of over because the majors are done and this is just a bunch of golfers playing for a bunch of money, but you don't really get a ton of prestige, it feels like, from winning a FedEx Cup championship. So
there's something missing when you call it a playoff, because you're right, it's a bunch of guys out there scratching for some money, right? And I don't know how you could make it better. I don't, but I do feel that with you as well.
Yeah, so that was the golf weekend. All right, as promised, we do have some Padres tickets to give away, and we're going to be giving them away all week long here on 97.3 The Fan for the Friday game against the Boston Red Sox. You can shake up your night with Cocktail Fest this Friday from the time the gates open to the first pitch at 6:40. Enjoy $5 drink specials and live music in Gallagher Square. Go to Padres.com/tickets or be the 8th caller right now at 833-288-0973. 8th caller at 833-288-0973. You'll have a chance to win tickets to the Padres and the Boston Red Sox this weekend. Should be an interesting series. Xander going up against his former team, and the Red Sox have been playing pretty good baseball, Woods, since they traded Rafael Devers away. They're currently in the American League wildcard standings. Let me see. They right now are the top wild card team now. They're 2 games up, game and a half up on the Yankees and 2 games up on the Seattle Mariners, who are currently holding the 3rd wild card spot. And they're actually only 3 games back of the Toronto Blue Jays for first place in the AL East. So even the Red Sox pretty much can dream of a division title and even battle for a first-round bye, just like the Padres are doing. So that is a huge series for both teams coming up this weekend.
They were dead and buried 2 months ago. Dead and buried, right? Like, Cora's lost this team. We're trading Devers and blah, blah, blah. And holy cow, they've won 5 in a row.
I bet Yankees fans never thought that the Red Sox would pass them at some point in the standings this year.
And honestly, I don't think Dodger fans thought the Padres would be this close either. Certainly nothing's locked down yet, but to have the Pods breathing down their necks is probably not what either fan base thought, at all. And that's good. It's good for Red Sox fans, good for Padres fans, certainly. Like, this is kind of what you live for, to make those big dogs a little bit nervous. And the Red Sox have actually overtaken them. The Blue Jays having, a little bit of a struggle lately, but still in first place. And but the Red Sox, man, have been a really, really tough team. So it's going to, again, get through the Diamondbacks. You get the Red Sox waiting for you. It's going to be a battle. I wonder if we'll see Crochet in that series. We've missed a lot of those big names this year. I wonder if we'll see Garrett Crochet at Petco.
I know the Astros probably thought they were going to cruise to the AL West a couple of weeks ago. They're 2-8 in their last 10, and now Seattle is just 2.5 games back and breathing down their necks. And it already happened. Man. But I bet the Cubs never thought they'd get challenged. They got up by a good chunk of games, and now they're trailing the Brewers by 2 games in the National League Central. The Brewers just don't refuse to slow down. So we've definitely had some shifting storylines. I mean, the Mets early in the season looked like they were running away with the National League East. They're now half a game behind the Philadelphia Phillies. There have been a lot of changes for sure in the standings throughout baseball. Only the Tigers have really held on. They went through their giant slump, but because the rest of the division is so far back, they're still 8 games up, so they don't really have to worry too much about anybody catching them. But the rest of baseball, every other division is still very much up for grabs with 50 games left in the season.
Well, those Marlins losses don't feel so bad after seeing what they've been able to do. They're back up to 500, which is remarkable. 55-55, 8-2 in their last 10. And they have a little bit of that juice, man, a little bit of that magic. Connor Norby was quoted over the weekend saying, like, yeah, we know we don't care. We don't care what everybody thinks about us. They are now 6 games out, Ben, in the wild card. So they're very much alive, too. The Miami Marlins at 500 after being so far below.
The problem is, obviously, they're trying to chase down the Padres, and they're going to need the Padres to go on a big swoon to catch them. And, that would be disastrous, but that would be their only hope. But to put it in perspective, they were 16 games under 500 when this run began.
Crazy.
24-40.
That is where the Pittsburgh Pirates are right now, 48-64. Can you imagine the Pirates like going on a run right now and getting back to 500? That's what the Marlins have essentially done in the last month and a half. That's how hot they have played. There's just like, you'd think there's no chance that the Pirates could do it, but the Marlins actually did it. They played really good baseball for a month and a half, and the Padres aren't the only one who saw it up close. Yankees are just the latest, but they've just been tearing through opponents since basically the start of June.
Scary little team they got there in Miami, man. It's crazy.
Real quick, you guys, we were talking about Boston earlier. I'm going off of ESPN right now. So they got Kansas City for 3 starting tonight. They're throwing Bayo, Crochet, and Dustin May. So and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday looks like Bueller, Giolito, and Bayo.
You miss them by one.
Miss them. Oh, drag.
Darn.
We'll see. Things can change at this time of the year, but at least that's the projection at this point. All right, Paulie's going to get our winner information dialed in, and then we will come back, and Paulie will bring us some headlines for the Reindl Report, including a couple of baseball-related headlines.
Some drama in the Little League World Series.
This is amazing.
Little League World Series qualifier. Gamesmanship or cheating? Let's discuss.
Coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3, The Fan. First, though, Woods and I are going to talk about Trust and Will. It's your online resource for estate documents. Instead of having to go to a lawyer's office and pay billable hours and, probably thousands of dollars in legal fees to set up your estate with your trust or your will, you can do it very affordably, very simply, and very quickly at trustandwill.com.
It doesn't take long at all. Embarrassing that we waited this long. But, yeah, get that peace of mind by going to trustandwill.com and use the code FAN when you check out, FAN. You're going to get 20% off of everything, and they're going to ship you your estate documents. You get those, have them notarized, and then it's done. You throw it in the drawer. You forget about it until your family needs it.
Yeah, don't leave your family in the lurch without estate documents. The state will end up deciding even not just your finances, but your kids, like guardianship as well. If you don't put it down on paper, you're probably headed to probate court, and your relatives are going to be dealing with a nightmare for months on end. Easily avoidable, again, by going to trustandwill.com. Use that code FAN. Get 20% off and free shipping at trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place.
Congratulations to Alex, who won the first pair of Padres Red Sox tickets this week. He sounded genuinely surprised to be the 8th caller when Paulie answered the phone. But you know what? Someone gets in. I know sometimes it feels fruitless, like you call and you get a busy signal, or you call and all you get is a ring and you don't never get it answered. But yeah, you occasionally, you know what, you get through and someone does win.
I understand why people sometimes they freak out or they even get upset because they'll hear them go on hold for a second and then they get dropped off. But when we say caller number 8, we have 6 phone lines, so I have to put everybody on, then drop all 6, and then take the second caller after that.
Exactly. So that prevents the people who tried to jump the gun by dialing a little bit early, I think, from being rewarded. It gives everybody kind of an equal opportunity chance to win the tickets.
That, and I like playing God, and it's personal among some of you, and I just don't want you to win.
That's exactly right. I mean, he has total idea who's calling and who's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, phone rings a while. Have you guys ever won anything on a radio station before?
No, never did.
Never once?
No. My buddy did a couple of times.
I mean, I won. I think I was like maybe 19 or 20, and I don't even know why I called for it, but I won tickets for Sarah McLaughlin.
Oh, did
you know her?
Yeah.
I went to the show with my buddy. My idea was there's going to be a lot of girls there, so we got tickets. Let's go there. It'll be a, as we would call it back in our misogynistic days, a target-rich environment then, and it was. It was, but it was also a very, sweet and moving concert. She got a great voice, but it's sad. It doesn't put you in a sexy.
Her in concert. Yeah, I don't know.
She was great. It doesn't. You're not in a sexy mood when she sings, "Arms of an Angel" and things like that. But she's really, really talented singer. But I did win those from a radio station before.
Keep trying. It's always possible.
Yeah.
Just right. I wish we could give out more tickets, but
we have winners. We do have winners. Somebody actually wins, so just keep trying.
All right, we're going to take a final look at traffic, and then Paulie's got some headlines with his Rindle Report coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
It is still a stop-and-go ride on the northbound side of the 5 at Coaster Station, all because of an accident involving a flipped-over car. Right now, the right lane is blocked. Delays go all the way back to the 78 at exit 51B, but you can expect about a 30-minute delay to get through this mess. I'm Sue Aller with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Rindle Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Rindle Report with Paul Rindle.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Rindle Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right. Happy Monday, gentlemen.
Happy Monday. Sarah McLachlan had a nice little run, especially in the late 90s. Building a Mystery, I Will Remember You.
Yeah. Yes. Possession is that is a sexy song, actually. That'll get you in the mood. God bless. Yeah, she was great.
All right, gentlemen, let's get started here. Where to begin? Let's start off in Major League Baseball, and then we'll get to Little League drama. I saw a few people up in arms about Johan Duran and his intro music when he comes out of the bullpen, because it does start with Hell's Bells. Ryan Helsley also comes out to Hell's Bells, and everyone, I get it. They get upset. That's Trevor Hoffman's signature walk-up. I totally understand. I will say with Duran, though, it like mixes into another song shortly after those bells come out, and he starts running onto the field. But he has one of the more electric bullpen entrances, and he's been doing it all year with Minnesota. And what I really liked this move. So when he got traded by the Twins to the Phillies, he came out, I think it was Friday night, like game one, and he had a save opportunity, came out of the pen, and Citizens Bank Park looked awesome. And it actually looked
incredible,
exactly like how they used to do it in Minnesota. And then it came out that the Minnesota Twins decided, they said to themselves, you know what? This wasn't our thing. This was his thing, and this belongs to him, and it should go with him. So they actually, their creative department, they sent over to the Phillies department everything that they had, all their files, the music, the graphics, anything they could, anything that they could help with the lights and all of that. They said, this belongs to him. He, we have no ill will towards him. We moved him. We're going in a different direction. And I thought that was pretty cool. That was a good move.
No, it's a really good move, and it looked incredible on Friday night. That's something that they've needed there desperately as a lockdown closer, and they got one, making them a really, really terrifying team.
Yeah, it's been super fun to talk about all the additions and how the Padres strengthened their roster over the last 5 days or whatever. But every other team in the National League that we're going to be competing against, they all got better too.
Yeah, they did.
I try not to speak of it, but there was that one season in 2009 when Trevor Hoffman pitched for the Milwaukee Brewers, and he did come into Hell's Bells with the Milwaukee Brewers. Didn't hit the same. Now, they didn't have the choreographed like graphics and lighting back then that they do now with closer entrances, so I can see that is a little bit different. It was a classy move, though, by the Twins to send that along to the Philadelphia Phillies. And, I don't want to be facing Duran. I mean, at some point in the playoffs, someone's going to have to go against those guys. Someone's going to have to go against the Padres bullpen. The Mets have a pretty good bullpen with Diaz at the back end. I mean, a lot of good bullpens in the National League playoffs this year.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to this Little League drama. I was curious what you guys thought. Adam sent this over. I missed this entirely. I think they're still doing like regionals or super regionals, and I think this was a winner moves to Williamsport though in the Little League World Series. We're getting to be that time. Flip on ESPN during the day, you'll get a lot of Little League World Series baseball. And there was a game between Oklahoma and whoever Oklahoma was playing against.
Like somebody in Texas
West. And it was the Southwest Regional winner going on to the Little League World Series. Texas was up 4-1 in the top of the fifth inning with the bases loaded for Oklahoma, and I believe Little League, they play 6 innings, so it's crunch time here. And there was a pitch in the at-bat where the field umpire standing near second base noticed the base runner on second for Oklahoma kind of doing like a whip motion with his hand, signaling to the batter fastball, right? Fastball.
Yep.
Boom, after the first pitch, the guy did it again, the base runner, fastball. And the umpire actually called time and stopped the game, met with all of the other umpires. They ended up walking off the field, the umpires did, because they had to talk to the Little League tournament director and get a ruling on whether or not it is okay for the base runner to be tipping pitches.
Yep.
And I know how I feel, but I can understand both sides of the argument, saying you're teaching these kids how to cheat. I would say it's not cheating. It is gamesmanship. But is there a line on like when that's appropriate, when it's not appropriate? Woodsy, you're coaching Little League right now.
Yeah.
Like, what did you think of all of this?
Listen, I think about it a lot, Paulie, and there are plenty of hard-o coaches out there. And I figure there's going to need to be some conversation about it with my guys. I will tell every single player of mine, when you get to first base and you don't get to lead off in the division Bo's going to be playing in. But, man, when you get to first base your entire life, you're taught to look in. Let me see, because if I want to run, I want to obviously run on a breaking ball. If I can pick a breaking ball to run on, I'm going to do that. It's crazy. Like I would tell 7-year-olds that, right? Like, look for the pitch, man. Hey, by the way, yes, I know he throws a curveball. There's a decent chance he spikes it. You have to wait till the ball crosses the plate. If it's a curveball, maybe you have a better opportunity of him booting it and you getting the second. I don't think there's anything wrong with that whatsoever. As it pertains to leading off a second base, I
mean, the kid was not hiding it. It was pretty obvious what he was doing.
No.
They didn't do like if I turn my head this way, it's curveball. If I turn my head, like they just weren't even thinking. He was pretty much saying he might as well have just yelled fastball.
Yeah, and see, I told you guys the story about coaching against a coach, and a guy is at third base, and coach at third base, he's looking at my catcher signs, and he's just going like this. He's covering his leads, going fastball like that, and I go, and I'm standing across the field going, really? Well, the curveball. And so after the game, I walked up to him and we had it out, and I said, buddy, I have no problem with what you're doing, but don't be blatant. Don't let my pitcher hear you saying fastball because he's 12, right? Like, let's not get in his dome like that, right?
I don't like it at all.
If you want to tip, go ahead and tip. But
at that age, we're talking 12-year-olds. I don't like it at all. Certainly not the coaches fostering it. If the players on their own are doing it, that's one thing. But here's why I don't.
They learn.
Here's why I don't like it,
coaches.
though. But at that age, you can't really expect teams to have like secondary
intricate
and tertiary signs. I mean, you're just hoping they can get signs from the catcher to the pitcher correctly, and a lot of that's safety as well. Plus, what's the way that you combat that when you see another team? You start throwing inside, and you can't do that in Little League. You can't be throwing at the other. So there's no way to combat it if you're the pitcher and the catcher, and you're just trying to give signs to the guy out at the mound in the normal fashion. I don't really like that the other team is trying to steal them or relay them to their batter, because there's nothing the team can do about it. Now on a higher level, do something about it. Change your signs up, be more discreet, you can fool the other team and make it backfire on them if you do it properly. But at 12 years old, there's nothing you can do about it. You're just a sitting duck out there letting the other team give you signs. So I don't think they should be allowed to do it.
It really does. It really is a tough one. And there's this need to win, at all levels. And it's pretty embarrassing. I've been through it before. As I continue to coach, the older I get, man, I'm going to tell my kids, watch out for tips. If he puts his glove here, he's going to throw a fastball. If he puts it here, he's going to throw a curveball. That's okay. What I'm not going to do is yell it out. If I got their signs, I'm not going to yell them out. Fastball's coming. Be ready for the fastball. I think that's a line too far. And as far as the kids doing it, kids will be kids, man. Like, honestly, Benny, you don't need tertiary signs. Just second sign indicator, third sign indicator. That's it. I'm going on the third sign with the runner on second sign on the runner with the runner on second. That's pretty standard too. But I just don't know how you combat it with this desire and need to win every single game in travel ball and Little League and all that. It's pretty tough.
Well, I guess
there's some real hard-o coaches out there.
Yeah, it's a talker for sure. The way it played out on the field is they came back after a several-minute delay. Tournament director and the umpires came back on the field and they ruled that there's nothing wrong here. We're going to play on. I don't know if it was the next pitch or a couple of pitches later, but wouldn't you know it, Oklahoma hits a grand slam as soon as play resumed. They take a 6-5 lead. They go on to win, and they're moving on to Williamsport now.
This is great, Gus, and I would do the same friggin' thing. I really would, and I have. Not as far as tipping has gone, but Gus says I've helped the kids that would tip on the opposing team because it's about the kids. I've done that too. I've helped a kid. Hey man, when you're playing first base, you want to make sure you have your right foot on the bag as a right-handed first baseman, not your other foot. Makes it a lot easier. That's really what it's about, is teaching these kids. But hey man, like I've seen some of the inner workings of some travel ball stuff, and it'll blow your mind, dude. So I don't know that I'm quite ready there. I think I will just be turning the reins over. But if somebody wants to teach Bo how to get a little bit of an advantage leading off second base or whatever, that's one thing. But calling out pitches and stuff like that just gets absurd.
All right, we'll move quickly here to my last story. We do things our way. When one of our beloved people out there passes away, we play shout out to his family. Everybody's got their own way of doing things. And the internet is a little confused, I guess, with how Rod Stewart has been doing things for his shows.
Yeah.
Rod Stewart is still touring. I think he got the residency in Las Vegas. And so it's been a few weeks now since Ozzy Osbourne passed away, a musical icon spanning across all genres. And Rod Stewart has been dedicating his song Forever Young to Ozzy, which I think is a good move. That's tasteful for sure. What's really confused everyone, though, is the screen, the video going on behind Rod Stewart during that song is an AI video of Ozzy appearing to be in heaven and like taking selfies with a bunch of other dead celebrities, musical icons like Tupac, Kurt Cobain, Tina Turner, Amy Winehouse, Michael Jackson, Bob Marley. I mean, dude, people are like, hey man, like I get it. You're trying to like,
they all look really
pay
happy,
respect.
which is good.
They do.
But like, you got to draw a line somewhere, and this is crossed that line into borderline creepy.
Freddie Mercury. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is incredible. Forever young. Just the worst. It's just the worst,
Like
man.
everyone's like, Rod, this is a little much. This is kind of weird. What is going on here?
What in the world?
You're watching the show. You're like, am I on drugs? Like, what is going on right now?
Just seeing Ozzy smiling that big is kind of creepy
know.
just to
It's
begin
so
with.
wild.
So,
oh
It's
man,
so wild.
Well, good stuff today, guys.
all right. Well, Woodsy, thank you for doing the show today.
My pleasure, boys.
It's your show, but we were glad to
See you
have you
tomorrow.
for sure. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Braden's coming up next for Paulie, for Woods. I'm Ben. Have a great rest of your Monday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.